And we're live.
Hello, everybody! Thank you so much for joining us today. We are No Initiative here on the Chromatic Chimera. I am Sam. I'm one of the admins here, as well as our accessibility director. Real quick, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We are doing a fundraiser all this week for Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. All of the proceeds of our subs, any cheers or bits donated over the course of this week on our channel are going to be donated to the National MS Society, which is a nonprofit organization that helps to provide research as well as funding and assistance for patients and their families who have multiple sclerosis, which is an autoimmune condition. If you're able to donate, that would be wonderful. There is a link and a command in our chat for our Tiltify, if you would prefer to do that directly. Meantime, I'm gonna pass this over to our very special guest GM, James. Take it away.
Hello, I'm James. That's me. Yeah, so we're gonna be playing Masks. So what I will do, once I remember where I put the rules, why did I move them off of the screen? So Masks is a game, if in case you are totally unfamiliar for some reason with Masks, you should make yourself familiar. But it is a game about teenage superheroes. One of the things that I love about it is that it's a game that focuses on the teenage part and then figures out the superhero part later, because that's what the teenagers are doing. So it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game. It is a game that uses playbooks, and everybody's going to be rolling a 2d6 into success bands. There are moves and all that sort of stuff. We'll call out the basic moves as we get to them. But why don't we start by having everybody kind of go through and talk about their character a little bit, and maybe I'll ask some questions so that we can kind of meet everybody, since you're all playing new characters that nobody knows. I don't know who would like to start. Who feels comfortable?
I nominate Nat.
It's been a while since we've played characters nobody knows.
True.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm right next to James. So, hi, I'm Nat. I'm used to running this. This feels very weird. I'm playing Crux Crawford, also known as Haunt. Uses he, him pronouns. I use they, he pronouns. He's a Nova, spooky soft boy, likes to draw. Lots of shades of the departed like to spend time around him. Then they start out kind of cutesy, and if things get a little dicey, they might get a little less cute and maybe a little dangerous. But he tries to, draw and keep them appeased and tries to be normal. That's his life. Should I drop it down to Megan?
Sure. Hello, I am Megan. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Violet Bloom, aka Pixel. I am the Beacon, so I do not have superpowers of my own, but I'm very handy with a computer, and a big fan of parkour, so I climb lots of stuff and do a lot of free running and do some techie hacking stuff for my siblings, who you will meet shortly. Violet is very quiet, tends to keep to herself, just likes to fiddle with gadgets and tech and not just kind of stay out of the spotlight.
Well.
And with that segue, I'm gonna pass it over to Issa.
Hello, I'm Izza, my pronouns are she, her, and I'll be playing Iris Bloom, aka Spotlight, whose pronouns are also she, her, and who is a star playbook. She is sister to Violet, and a former child actress who gained light manipulation powers while working on a film set, making a superhero movie. Along with one of her other siblings. And as her name might suggest, she's quite outgoing and showy and kind of likes being the center of attention, but like not in too much of a dickhead way. Yeah, she has like cool light manipulation powers and it's very fun. Wait, I'm not even looking at the overlay. Who's next?
It's always me after you.
Nunu.
You know, it's always me.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Nuno, he, him pronouns, and I'll be playing L351IE or Leslie, aka Prism, they, them pronouns, and they're the newborn playbook. And yeah, super recently gained conscience in an incident that happened with the rest of the party. And yeah, very naive, very soft, very confused. I think these three things describe Leslie the best. The powers, we'll get to them. I don't think we need to describe them for now. Who's up next? Robert.
Hello, I'm Robert. He, him. I shall today be playing Raymond Rodimus Ray, the Scion, also known as the Shadow. Raymond, as a Scion, just might have a parent who's a supervillain. That's just kind of how that works. I mean, there's not much you can really do about that, but they're trying to prove that he's not like them. But yeah, I mean, that's my character. So Sam, your turn.
Hey everybody, I am Sam. I go by they, them pronouns. I'm going to be playing Lily Bloom or Blackout, who goes by they, them pronouns. Holy crap, I can't talk today. And if you haven't guessed, I am the third sibling of the Bloom triplets. I am a joined playbook. I am a joined with our star, Spotlight or Iris. I have light manipulation powers, however, mine are keyed to shadow rather than actual light. So I like to play with the shadows that Spotlight creates. I also have arthritis that makes it hard to move around, and I use a shadowy disc of a solid shadow construct to help me sort of float around. Because as I was a child actor along with Spotlight, I don't really bother hiding my powers too much. And I think that's it for me. I'll take it back to James.
Cool. Just so that I know, how many of you have a secret identity versus how many of you are just like publicly a hero all the time?
Secret identity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spotlight and Blackout are like public with their identities, but I think Pixel isn't.
Pixel's like more like.
There's a rumor going around that there might be a triplet. It's not just twins. There might be a triplet, and we're always like, no,
that's us.
There's
That's ridiculous.
There are not enough like journalist glasses that can hide Leslie's robotic parts. So no.
Okay.
Haunt can't hide it very well.
Okay. So largely you're for most of you are just kind of openly heroes all the time. Interesting. Okay. So I guess let's get started. The first panel of our comic is a sort of like broad picture of the city, which I think I'm gonna just make an executive decision now here that we're calling it Quest City. And so we see a series of panels of Quest City. It is a large city. It is a sort of a wide city, and it is a misty morning. And so we see the fog kind of rolling in through the city, and around. We see all the busy streets and the parks and open areas that are full of people. And we see this enormous, like block and a half long crocodile that is crawling through the city, kind of like taking these slow kind of like crocodile like big footsteps that are shaking things. And we see that it's turning its massive head. It like eats a car. And as we sort of punch into this crocodile, we can see that in the back of its head, up in its like between its big crocodile alligator eyes, in the sort of gnarled mass of armor it has, there's one large kind of lump of armor that has a sword stuck in it. And there's a little editor's note that explains that this is Excaligator. and and so we sort of like we see it a couple panels of it terrorizing the city, and as we pan along, as it sort of moves past our panels, past these buildings that we've been watching sort of it brush up against, we get to its haunches right at the back of right where its tail is, and we see the tail kind of like moving back and forth down the street, knocking cars out of the way, and all of you are on the back of this giant alligator. Can you tell me what you are doing there? How did you come to be on the back of this giant alligator? Obviously, you're here to stop it, but like, what was the plan that kind of maybe didn't go so well that ended up with you all here, or went well? Maybe this was your goal.
I mean, I'd just like to point out that if you can ride on the back of a giant alligator, you should.
You should.
So maybe this is a plan gone right.
Yeah.
Like a YouTube live or an Instagram live going on.
Yeah.
We wanted to try out our new GoPros.
So assuming that then this is your plan, how did you get up here? Did you all like wait until it walked past and climbed up? Did you fly up here? What happened? How did you get up on top of it?
Turn up the tail.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Waited on a nearby rooftop to jump down on top of it.
What if the plan is actually not to like hurt it? What if we think it might just need to get calmed down, so we could get close to its ear holes and say nice things?
Whisper sweet nothings.
To try to reroute it to like a body of water or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we gotta ride it and then steer it
out of the city.
Yeah.
This is the best plan.
It is sort of just aimlessly meandering through the city, eating cars here and there.
I've got a titanium tonfa staff that I can shove into its mouth and use to guide it. We're good.
Illustrious
like
MC.
Yeah.
Illustrious MC. Just for no reason at all. This city doesn't happen to be in the sky, does it?
Not that we know.
Is there a body
of
of water handy?
There is a body of water handy, yes.
There's still time.
I think it's not a coastal city, but it's on a major river, so there is a body of water nearby that you could guide this into.
Ooh.
I
vote
feel
that.
what you were trying to do.
I feel like one of these past nights, someone showed a Western movie to Leslie, and they're like, this is just a big horse, right? We can totally just ride it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yes, Leslie, you're 100% correct.
100%. Yep, correct.
So
But maybe make some like
horse.
can I maybe make some like dancing light projection-y things to like guide it towards the water? Would it go towards them? I don't know.
Sure. So
this?
Obviously, I film everything I do.
okay. I would like you to roll to if you're gonna create the sort of like sparkles to sort of or flashes of light to make it kind of sort of guide it down maybe one street as opposed to another. So roll to unleash your powers to do that.
Okay.
Which would be rolling plus freak.
Okay. So
which is
it's 2d6, so I add everything together, yeah?
Yep, 2d6, add them together, plus your freak, which is 1.
Okay, so total of 5.
Okay. So that does not go well.
I don't know.
So for those people who don't know, in most Powered by the Apocalypse games and in Masks, you're looking to get a hit, which is a 7 to 9. If you or a 7 plus, if you roll higher than a 7, generally you have succeeded at the thing you were trying to do. 7 to 9 is kind of the middle band, and on a 10 plus you succeed greatly. So unfortunately, a 5 is not quite there yet. But so you are. What does this look like, I guess, what do your powers look like when you're generating these kind of sparkles and flashes of light? Like, do you like do sort of like Scarlet Witch type hand gestures? Is the light shooting out of your body? How does that work?
Yeah, so she sort of she does do the very cool sort of hand gestury type things, but then the projections of light that she creates then become solid. So basically she was attempting to sort of like use the lights to draw it in and then create like a path to funnel it down. So think like Green Lantern, how he can just create sort of like any shape and then it becomes solidified, but the light is this very sort of bright yellowish white rather than green.
So I think that what happens is you kind of really get into the zone. Like this is like you're out in public, you're up on top of a giant alligator. Certainly everyone is looking at you. And you go to make these kind of these hard light projections, and you realize that as you're doing that and kind of waving your hands around to make that happen, you've taken your hands off of whatever you were using to stabilize yourself on the back of this alligator. And so it turns away from all of these kind of flashing lights and hard bits that are now floating in the air, and you are going to tumble over sideways and start to fall off the side of this alligator unless someone does something to try to help you. Yes.
I'll run over while on the back of this thing and try and just whip out one of my tonfas for Iris to grab.
Okay. Why don't we, just for the sake of doing another move, why don't you roll to defend?
Savior,
Iris.
right?
Roll,
Yes.
roll.
Roll well.
Just plus
Yes,
one.
please. That's my sister.
That is double 4s, so 9 total.
Also my sister.
Okay.
Yay.
So when you defend something or someone from an immediate threat, like falling off of the side of a giant alligator, on a 9, obviously you hit, so you're going to keep them safe, and then you also get to choose one. Add a team to the pool, take influence over them, or clear a condition.
What is a team?
That's a good point. So team is something we didn't talk about yet, and it's not something that we have established. But team is sort of it's a currency. It's a number that represents how unified and how much of a team you are. So right now you have, because we're at the beginning of the scene, you all have one team. When somebody rolls, you can spend team to give them a +1 if narratively it makes sense that you can help.
I'll take a
Or
team.
you can spend team. So the only thing that with team is you can't spend it on yourself. Only someone else can spend it on you. With one exception, you can spend team to give yourself a bonus, but it has to be selfishly. It has to be some way you're focusing exclusively on yourself, to the negative of the team.
Yeah, I'm going to take a team.
Okay, so we are up to 2 team. So just remember, if somebody rolls, usually it's if someone rolls a 5 or if someone rolls a 9 and you want to kick them up to a 7 and 9, or a 6, you want to kick them up to a 7 and 9, or from a 7 and 9 up to a 10. Those are the times where you're looking to spend team and kind of do big group activities.
Cool.
So you kind of like flip out your tonfas and reach down, and so Iris, you're able to grab on, and Raymond is going to help pull you back up onto this alligator, which is now but you did successfully reroute it, at least. I don't know that it rerouted towards the direction you were going, but it's definitely been rerouted. And it is heading down this next road. It has made like a 90-degree turn, and it is going much faster now. Like you're moving along, you're kind of booking it. What are the rest of you doing?
I think Haunt is getting a little flustered at this situation. He kind of drops down to put his hands on the thing. He's like, "Come on, big guy, you just gotta calm down." And while he's doing that, the little shades start to, because they start to move across surfaces. So like patches of darkness start moving up the scales of the alligator to gather around Crux as he's trying to charge up his powers.
Excellent, cool. So so that's one of your core moves, is the Nova.
Yeah.
So roll, I believe it's plus conditions, which you probably don't have.
So
any right
currently
now.
+0. Yeah. Unless I can just say I'm really afraid and call it good. But that's an 11, so we good.
All right. So on an 11, you get to hold 3 burn to spend later on your flares, and you don't have to mark a condition, which is good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
He's
all
just
of this
quietly
this kind of
freaking out.
this darkness and stuff.
Yeah.
like it starts like there's this wave, so it's coming up off of the ground and like up onto the alligator and then
Yeah.
into you.
Yeah, and they start to gather around him, and they always manifest on surfaces to start, and then if things get really hairy, they can come off and actually float. Those little
Okay,
shades of the departed.
That's so cool.
interesting. Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Love it.
It's definitely very spooky.
Yeah.
So I think that as that is happening, that you're all noticing that the Excaligator is kind of like moving a little bit weirder, and it is going to kind of flip it. Like I think it has sort of started to feel that you're there on its back, as like lots of power now is kind of running around on it. And so it's gonna like kind of like almost throw itself and twist its haunches into one of the buildings there. How are you guys gonna handle that?
Oh gosh.
What do you do?
I think Blackout wasn't on the back properly because they're usually hovering on their little disc anyway. So I think had been sort of like hovering back above everybody as we're like scaling up. I'd like to try to take the creature's own shadow and create like a wall to keep it from actually hitting the building. So it's almost like you can see it peel up off the ground and like become solid.
Cool. To like stop it. Okay, so I would like you to roll to. You're doing it to protect the building or to stop it from like. You're doing it to protect the building, right?
Yeah, because I'm assuming it's full
Or
of civilians, probably.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
definitely
want to
some
keep
kind
it
of an
from
office
crashing
building.
into like
Okay.
a bunch of people.
So in that
I
case,
figure my
then
team will
I
be
would like
able
you
to
to
take
also.
care of each other.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
then roll to defend,
roll to defend.
which will be plus savior. Which is 0.
Yikes, that is a 6.
Oh no.
But
But you do have team if someone can.
I would like to use the bit of shadow that I have as power to enhance Blackout's shadow and give a team to them.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Cool. So we'll down to one team again. So yeah, just so you have successfully prevented this you've created this sort of shadow wall to keep the building safe. So describe what that looks like as the shadow kind of like sort of like I guess comes up onto one side and protects it. Does it stay in the shape of an alligator? Or does it turn into a what is it?
I think because I think it'll look cool. Yeah, I think it's sort of like almost Peter Pan style. You see the shadow like peel up from the pavement and like off the building itself. And maybe because it's like broad daylight, I'm sort of having a little trouble, especially without Spotlight there to like help me back it up. So getting that like assist from the shadow makes it like, rather than being a pale translucent like thing, makes it like more solid black and more
cool.
stable.
There's like some texture to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so as the okay, so you rolled a 7 and 9. So it's going to have to either you will keep the building safe but you'll have to expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation. Which of those would you like to do?
I will expose myself to danger.
Okay. Interesting. So as you work to control this, what's an interesting thing that could be danger?
Do I still mark potential if I failed and we used team?
No.
Okay.
If you use team, then it counts entirely as
Just
a success.
double-checking.
So you won't mark potential. Yeah. So actually, that's a good point. For people who, again, if there's anyone not familiar with masks, then the way that characters advance, the way they level up, the way they gain experience is by doing things that they're not good at, and generally that means failing. And so every time anyone rolls a 6 or lower, they get to mark potential. and if they fill up their potential track, which is 5, then they can take an advance.
So did I get that from
It could
last
happen.
time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, I'll be better about telling people to mark potential.
I'm really
Um,
bad at it too, like just remembering myself. So I'm glad I thought of it.
So as you pull at this shadow, this like big mass of shadow underneath this alligator, you're trying to control it, and again, like you said, it's kind of difficult because it's daylight, and so the shadow is a little diffuse. But with the shadow's help, Raymond's help, you're able to sort of get a little bit of extra energy into that shadow. But maybe it's a little bit too much energy. It's a little bit too foreign. Like there's something about this shadow too that feels a little bit different, and so it's sort of like all of the shadow underneath this alligator sloshes in one direction to slide up the side of the building, so that when the alligator kind of throws his haunches to knock you guys into the building, you all kind of get tossed a little bit, but the building is protected by this sort of protective wall of shadow. But when you, Blackout, hit the shadow, part of it like crashes over you like a wave, and like there is this visible like kind of oily shadow like that's like stuck to your shoulder and arm, I think, and it starts to extend and like kind of like expand and work its way up the rest of your body.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm like stuck. I think my disc sort of like disappears for a second just because I'm distracted. And I imagine I'm just sort of still stuck in this wall, the shadow wall.
No, you're still like, it's just that a bit of the shadow wall has come with you. You've
Oh,
started
okay.
to it slid up to protect the building and then sloshed over, and as it dissipated, parts of it kind of
Ew.
stuck to you. Yeah.
All right. Then I'm like I'm gonna take one hand and sort of peel it up and be like, this is gross.
Yeah. So
Sure,
Leslie,
it's fine.
what are you doing? Or yeah. What are you
I think
doing
at
during
this
all
point,
this?
like this massive creature, everyone else, Leslie would know that they don't have near enough the strength to deal, like the brute force to deal with it. So I
Mhm.
think all this time, all this is happening, Leslie's like sitting on this creature's neck, just trying to wrangle it and stop it from moving
Okay.
too far away from the path.
Okay, so you've run like all the way up to the front of this alligator.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So okay, so you're trying. What do you? So again, you're trying to. Why don't you? Okay, I think that you're directly engaging it. I think that that's what you're doing. You're kind of attacking it. You're trying to deal with it directly. So give me that roll plus danger.
It's danger. Got it.
Which for you is a 1.
It's a 7.
Okay. So on a 7 and 9, you're gonna trade blows. You're able to grab it, but it's gonna get in some stuff back. But you get to pick one from this list. So you can choose to resist or avoid its blows. You can take something from it. You can create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten it.
I think I'm gonna go with create an opportunity for my allies. It feels like
Okay.
it's adequate.
Okay, so you are interestingly strong for someone your size, and you are able to kind of grab, like maybe you're laying down, like you probably can't get your arms around it because it's a pretty big. It's like as wide as a city block, or it's as long as a city block, so it's kind of as wide as a street. But you're really grabbing it and struggling and trying to turn its head. Again, I think that your plan is to reroute it towards a river or something. And so you're pulling it kind of against its will. But it is while you're doing that, it's trying to like twist and flip its head to get you into its mouth. And so I would like you to like you're going to create an opportunity because it's very focused on you at this time. But as it's trying to get you, I would like you to roll to take a powerful blow because I think it actually maybe does even kind of like flip its head and it gets like maybe your like just your legs into like the back of its mouth, and it's starting to chew a little bit. So you don't have any conditions
Ouch.
marked, so it's just a flat roll. And in this one, for take a powerful blow, you want to roll low.
You want to fail.
You want to fail.
Oh, that's an 11.
Okay.
You hate to see it.
Yeah. It's okay. So when you take a powerful blow, and you roll a 10 plus, you get to choose one of these things. You have to remove yourself from the situation, flee, pass out, etc. You can choose to lose control of your powers in it or yourself in a horrible way, or you can choose 2 from the 7 to 9 list, and which I can read through if you don't have in front of you.
I mean, look, I have to go with you lose control of your powers, because what are we doing here if not playing superheroes?
Yeah. Interesting. So tell me a little bit more about your powers. You have some super durability and some super strength. You're obviously pretty strong.
Yeah.
It also says here that you have some thermal control. What does that look like? How does that work?
So I think as this is happening, right? Because you said it was like thrashing through the streets, and there were plenty of cars, etc.
Yeah.
I think as people just left their cars, doors open, and ran away to save themselves, most of them left the doors open, and the radios were like just completely blasting and whatnot. And suddenly, as this creature's trying to snap at Leslie, you just hear static from all the radios as the energy and the radio waves just get absorbed by this crystalline body underneath these metal plates that Leslie has on the outside. And within, you start seeing like little circuitries just start circling and swirling in like rainbow colors, and an aura starts creating of heat starts creating around Leslie's hands. And it's now, you tell me, just shoot somewhere.
Yeah. So
it's gonna shoot.
Yeah. So you've started to like, you're pulling in energy from these cars around you, and from different like street lights start flickering and stuff as you're trying to pull in to like get more torque to kind of force this thing and pull yourself out of its mouth. But yeah, the side effect of that is that you're generating a lot of heat. And I think we see like there's like, I think maybe there's as you're fighting, trying to get out of its mouth, like there's a moment where you fall over backwards and you kind of like brush your hand against the sidewalk because it's twisting and stuff, and you touch, and I think that what makes sense is that I think that there's like there's a series of parked cars, maybe even the ones that you were pulling energy from, and they start to like, the metal starts to glow brighter red, and the cars, they don't like explode, but they definitely are now on fire, which is unfortunate. And so like it's just in one moment when you're like, you're kind of like, you're just twisting, it gets a good twist on you, and you pull yourself back up, and you're back in control. Ooh, it looks like we got a big shout out of $50.
Ooh,
Big donation,
Yeah.
sorry.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Ina. We really
Well,
appreciate
lovely.
it.
Yeah, excellent.
So I think while Prism is straining so hard that the radios start to static and the lights flicker, Crux just looks over at that, like before the cars start lighting on fire, and goes, "Oh, that's really cool."
Yeah.
That's all.
So, Megan, what is Violet doing?
Yeah. So Violet.
People are throwing
is...
magic around.
Yeah, people are.
That's not your thing.
So I think, yeah, no. I just can climb things very well. So I think like as Leslie is like wrestling this alligator, that was kind of like my idea, not to wrestle it because I am but a simple human girl. But I kind of want to like run all the way like up Excaligator.
Yeah.
And what I kind of would like to do is I've got like ropes and stuff because I like climb things a lot. To,
Yeah.
like, set up cameras for my siblings to do their cool video stuff. So I want to like tie a like lasso around the sword stuck in the alligator's head and kind of like jump and like swing around it and then try to get back up so that I get like a rope like around its head or mouth or something to try to like steer it,
lasso
away.
it and kind of steer it. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you roll to unleash your powers?
Ooh, that's a
Which
6.
is plus. Is it a 6 before the -1 or?
Yep.
Okay. So that's a 5.
Boo. Yes, it's a 5.
Okay.
Which even
so,
with, I would say, because Leslie
even
did
with a
create an
team.
opportunity for allies, but
Oh, okay.
but I mean,
okay.
that would still just be a 6 if it was.
So. Okay.
Oh,
so you
I have a fun idea because then I can spend a team. I have a fun way I could like help out.
Yeah, I think.
Because
Yes. Tell me what you do to spend a team.
all right. So one of the things that Crux can do is he can create objects summoned from the other side. So he like reaches out a hand and a portion of the ground turns like this pale like slight cracks in it that look darkened, and it's a gigantic, roughly person-sized iron skull comes out and plops down to add some weight behind the rope.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what happens? Okay. So cool. So I have a good visual of this now. So yeah. Violet, you tie off one bit of the string, this rope around the sword stuck in Excaligator's back, and you just run and jump off the one side to sort of do that big swing. But in your haste, you have this moment where you didn't tie that rope too well, and so it starts to slip. But then that metal skull kind of like summons like slams down on top of it, and it just adds a little bit of extra weight to get to stop it from unraveling, to stop it from slipping. And so you get a good swing. The opportunity you get is going to give you another +1 to get that up to a 7. So as Leslie is kind of wrangling the Excaligator and trying not to get eaten, it kind of is tossing, the Excaligator is tossing its head to get away from it, and that gives you a little bit of extra momentum. So you're going to swing up onto the other side and land, and then be able to go and like maybe retie your knot a little bit tighter this time. But you're going to have this rope around its neck to maybe steer it a little bit. So where are you steering it?
To the water, I guess, is what we had talked about.
Okay.
River.
Away from city. Like,
Okay, away
towards
from
a
the
place
city.
where there are less people.
So yeah, there's a couple big thoroughfares, and but you guys you're all from here. You know the city, and so you're able to navigate it pretty well. I think maybe even once it has the rope around it, you're able to steer it a little bit better. You're able to kind of get yourselves together. There's a bunch of you, and it is able to, and you're able to drag it towards or to guide it towards this river. Are you going to just kind of like dump it into the river? Are you going to I think there are probably a couple. There's not. I don't know if it's a huge port, so there's probably not like cargo ships here, but there's probably some smaller ships, some fishing vessels, stuff like that. Are you going to do anything to let them know what's coming? Are you going to try to aim it away from them, that sort of thing?
Quick question. If we pull the sword out of its back, do we get to be the King of England?
I don't know. There's really only one way to try.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
You hear Iris talking
Yeah,
over the
this is in
inside
character now.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it. Take the sword. I want it.
Do it, Pixel!
Oh, we could film some cool shit with that thing.
Yeah, do it.
I am standing by the sword. Yeah, can I, like, is it like in there, or if I like grab it, can I like?
It's in there pretty good. if you want to try to really give it a good pull, I would like to have you roll to unleash your powers again.
Sure, I'm so good at it. It's like my
Yeah.
favorite thing. I'm super good at unleashing my powers. Oh, but that's an 11, so that's a 10. With my
Okay.
-1 to 3.
Excellent.
Now before your
Yeah.
turn.
So cool. So you pull this sword out of Excaligator's back, and
Yeah, we
there
just
is a it's very hard to get out at first. Like, it doesn't move at all. You kind of have to really like get some leverage and pull. But after a moment, it is gonna start to slide slowly out of its back, and eventually there's like a flash of light, and the sword comes free. And I think it startles you a little bit. Maybe you kind of almost fall backwards a little bit, but you've got the rope in the other hand, or like kind of like tied around you a little bit to make sure that you can keep steering it. Well, you're just kind of like, there's a sword there. Well, while I'm here, I guess I might as well try that. And so you feel the power that's in this sword. Just kind of like thrums through you a little bit. And it starts to glow a little bit. And the brighter it glows, the smaller this crocodile gets. And so I think that almost maybe even by the time it gets to the water's edge, it's just the six of you standing with Violet holding a sword, Pixel holding a sword, and this regular-sized alligator on a leash, I guess.
Absolutely. It is now.
Good baby.
Should we
Good
just
baby.
keep it?
Can we adopt it?
Yeah, what if
I don't
we
know. Are you going to let this alligator go, or are you going to hang on to it?
I would like
You
to
have a
put this
place to keep an
alligator in my
alligator?
inventory.
Do you think Mom
James?
and Dad would be mad if we brought an alligator?
Are alligators even native here?
No. I don't think
No, I'm
this is
asking
what
my team.
Oh.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Bring it
Oh.
to the zoo or
Um,
something.
I've seen horses here before.
Well, this is kind of
This
like
is a
that,
different
but nothing
kind
at
of
all like
horse.
that.
I thought
I can.
it was a rougher horse. Yeah.
We don't usually get those here.
rough horses?
Yeah, rough
Uh,
horses don't live here
Rough horse.
usually.
Crux
Oh.
looks at all these shades that are hanging out around him and goes, well, you can at least do something to help out. And he gestures at the alligator.
Bring it to the zoo.
And can I use a move with Burn to move it to the zoo if I've been there before?
Sure.
The
I guess you've
We've
been
all
to the
been to
zoo.
I'd hope I've been to the damn zoo.
Yeah, you've been to the zoo.
Oh, let me make sure I
Uh,
have a good angle on this. And this little like robot thing that always floats next to Spotlight just like moves over, and it's got like it looks like it has a phone screen built into it. It's currently live streaming, and she just like
Okay.
focuses it right on the alligator as the shades are doing their thing.
So as they swarm around, and like with the ground where the skull appeared, it goes to that very pale white with almost like a brick pattern of where the grout would be being darkened, and it just fades into the ground. And he just turns
Okay.
like, they promised me that he'll make it. They're fine.
You didn't kill it, right? Because I just live streamed that to like 500,000 people.
No. Going to the Land of the Dead doesn't kill you, just most of the people are. It's chill.
I still think it would have been a cool pet.
Me too. I mean, we need a team mascot, and what better than
That
an
would've been
alligator?
I've been really irresponsible. I just don't think it would have a good life with us.
It really
Also, I
wouldn't.
have a sword.
Now that
And
the
you're really good.
now that the alligator has become normal sized and is now gone, the sword isn't glowing anymore. It isn't shining anymore. It is just kind of a pretty nice sword, but I don't think it doesn't quite feel as powerful. That moment has passed of feeling like it has a lot of power.
Just hold it out to Iris and be like, you can have this.
The camera swerves around to face both Violet and Iris as she takes the sword and then just like turns to the camera and poses with it, and all these like light sparkles appear around her.
Violet like pulls up her the hood on her hoodie, and just like, no, thank you.
Leslie just approaches Crux and goes, "What is she doing now? What is the purpose of that object?"
I'm not entirely familiar, but I think some people call it voguing.
Voguing. Okay. Thank you.
She's not voguing.
I'm like giving
I know.
bunny
No,
ears in the
I
background.
know that, but Crux doesn't.
You really have to do that right now. Ugh. Every
yeah.
time.
This is like prime stream time right now.
Yeah. We have like quite a lot more than our usual viewership right now. They loved this one. We should find more giant animals to fight.
Oh yeah. Oh, say hi everyone.
Crux
I think-
just pulled out his sketchbook and started
Prism.
sketching something.
As you are standing here by the side of the river, taking selfies and doing all the stuff that you're doing, teleporting
Of
an alligator
course.
to a zoo, yeah, the usual.
Baseball.
I think a
Who's
crowd voguing, you know,
Standards.
a crowd has started to form, and a news truck rolls up, and some people with some professional cameras and lights and stuff get out, and an anchor person is gonna step out and try to come over and talk to you. Would all of you stick around to talk to the news, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking away.
Come on, Leslie. They won't be nice to you. Come on.
Oh.
Climb up
Okay.
the nearest building. Be like,
Okay.
in or
Same.
out?
Yeah. As Pixel is making off, Crux kind of like holds up a hand, like,
Like, I'm gonna stay within eyesight, because gotta make sure the Sibs are okay, but like, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah,
I
we
thi-
can
I think
brood on the
Spotlight-
rooftop together.
Yeah.
We'll go
The
do-
broody
we'll
ones
go do-
leave, the happy
Yeah,
ones
we'll go
stay.
be
Yeah.
quiet on the roof.
I think
So-
as it's clear that the rest of the team doesn't want to talk to the news, I think Spotlight and Blackout are like making a bit of a scene to draw attention to them so that the others can
Okay.
get away.
Yeah. I've made myself a matching shadow sword now.
Oh, nice.
Perfect. Perfect.
So is it just Blackout and Spotlight that the rest of you all leave, or okay? So this anchor comes up and he's gonna introduce himself as, or he's just gonna be talking into the microphone, I guess, and looking into this camera. He say, "I'm Kerry Simons with Quest City News, and I believe we have the young heroes, Blackout and Spotlight here. Would you like to say anything to the people of Quest City who were watching in your daring capture? Did you capture the Excaligator? Where
Yes,
exactly
we did.
is the Excaligator?"
It has now been moved to a safe place where it can no longer hurt anyone or itself. We saved the day. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Do you feel like you were able I noticed that the rest of your teammates didn't stick around to talk. Do you feel like you're able to take care of these kinds of large, not super villains, but villains that are attacking the city?
Well, I mean, I think we just proved that we can, didn't we?
Exactly. You know, not all of our teammates are quite as sociable as me and Blackout, so we like to kind of handle the front of house stuff.
Right.
But everyone's
Mm.
perfectly capable of taking on these enemies.
Oh, absolutely.
I did notice that in the process of taking down Excaligator, you did set another fire, and that is twice now that your team has done that. And I'm just curious: is that the kind of collateral damage we can expect from your team?
Well, you know, it is really unfortunate when things happen, and we do try to minimize such damage. I mean, unfortunately, a fire did break out, but we did manage to prevent the collapse of an entire office building. Who knows how many casualties that may have caused if we hadn't been there to prevent even further rampage from this creature, which again is now being safely rehabilitated in the city zoo.
I think that also what he's doing is he's trying to shift your labels, which is a thing that adults
Ooh.
can do because you are teenagers.
Mhm.
Adults all have influence over you. Some of you have influence over each other, but adults all have influence over you. And so they're telling you about the way the world is. He's saying you are heroes, but you are dangerous. And so he's trying to shift up your danger and down your superior.
Okay.
And so what you can do is you can either accept that and change your labels accordingly, or you can try to reject it, which will mean a roll and potentially some bad things.
Okay.
But also
So
some
what
good things.
does the danger stat mean? Is that how dangerous you are to others?
It's
Or
how you, it's how. So it means two things. The danger, it means how dangerous you see yourself. Do you see yourself as someone who is, who can like go toe to toe with someone? But it also represents, in this case, how dangerous the world sees you. Like this person is saying, Carrie is saying, you are a dangerous person.
Right.
Those kinds of things go hand in hand.
Okay. I think Spotlight would try and reject that.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So when you try to reject someone's influence, you're gonna roll. So there's nothing you're adding to this. So why don't both of you give me a roll and tell me what you get?
Ooh,
8.
8.
All right.
Triplet!
Triplet.
Triplets!
Oh. And Violet kind of off to one side, not rejecting
Yep.
anyone's influence.
Well,
The usual pattern.
yeah.
Usual matter. So on a hit, which is what you rolled, you hold true to yourself and tune them out. You're not going to listen. You're like, what does this guy know? He's not a superhero. He's just an adult news reporter. But you're also going to choose one from this list. You can choose to clear condition or mark potential, but you have to immediately act to prove them wrong. Or you can shift one label up and one label down of your own choice. Or you can cancel Carrie's influence over you and take +1 forward if you have to do anything against him again.
Sorry, what was the last one?
Cancel his influence, so he won't have influence over you. He won't be able to tell you about the world again, and you'll get +1 forward. So the next time you have to make a roll against Carrie, you would get +1.
I'm trying to think.
The first one, clear condition, is kind of clear condition or mark potential to immediately prove them wrong is kind of you saying, no, I know who I am. I'm going to be a little bit more invigorated by this standing up to an adult, but I'm going to do something right now and prove that I'm not dangerous. I'm going to prove that I know what I'm doing, that I'm a competent hero. Or you can kind of just quietly say, that doesn't sound like me. I'm more like this, and then shift your own labels. Or you can say, what does that guy know? Who cares? I don't. And in fact, do a better job blowing them off later if you need to. Those are your kind of 3 options.
I think I'm gonna shift my labels myself.
Okay.
I'm going to shift my savior up
Okay.
and my
you saved
freak
people.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, you're saying I'm dangerous. I just saved the whole freaking building. What does this
Yeah.
nerd know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Spotlight might be more like the last one. That she's just like,
Okay.
yeah, nothing you say has any effect on me. I know
Okay.
who I am.
So if you run into Carrie again, we'll just remember that he doesn't have influence over you anymore, which is good because, like, as a star, you need to kind of build up a thick skin against what the media is saying about you, as is happening. And so how do you respond to that? Oh, you kind of said that you're doing your best, and so Carrie says, well, of course, we appreciate all the work that you're doing for the city, with all of the sort of the regular heroes, away on the Magpie's retreat. It is a weird decision that all of the adult heroes make to go out of the city on a retreat for a week. But they need to relax, and so it's good that you are here, a group of upcoming young heroes, stepping up to take care of the city.
Exactly, and we were, after all, the first choice to do so by them themselves, so they have trust in us, clearly.
Yes, and then Carrie's going to turn back to the camera and say, well, this is Carrie Simon signing off from whatever street you're on. I didn't name the street.
Quest Street in
Quest Street on Quest City,
Quest Street.
next to the Quest River. And so the camera, like the red light on the camera, turns off, and Carrie's going to turn back to you and say, look, just try not to light things on fire anymore. We do appreciate what you're doing, but like, it'd be nice if you could just do it with a little bit less.
I'll have a word with Prism.
You're
called
certainly always
out.
welcome to. You're certainly always welcome to try to, do better if you'd like. And I'm just gonna turn on my disc and float away.
Okay.
Yeah, Spotlight turns away. She does the same thing. Like she creates a disc of light and follows after Blackout. And as she does, she turns to her own camera pod thing and just goes like, "This is Spotlight and Blackout signing off." So
Yeah,
like
'cause-
whole spiel. You're like, "Please like and subscribe." Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Hit that notification bell.
Smash that like button.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like your chat has been talking about how like who is this? Like they've never none of the people who follow you have even heard of Carrie. Like none of them watch the main news.
Yeah.
And so they're like, you guys did good. Like they're supportive of you. Plus this was kind of new. Like they haven't seen you ride a giant alligator before, and that was always fun. So they like it when the whole team's together.
Yeah. Oh, it's good for our numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Top tier content.
So the rest of you who stepped away, where would you have gone? Like you said, you were going to go on top of a building and brood.
Yeah, we're all just gonna
Um,
brood on the nearest
yeah.
rooftop.
Okay. Do you then head off together as a group after, or do you kind of go your separate ways? How's that? What is it? What is your traditional post fighting a giant monster or a supervillain ritual? Do you have a juice bar or like a
Yeah, so
diner
there-
or something that
yeah,
you go
this
to?
is
About
Like,
to be like, we go to the pub, but then I was like, no, these are
Yeah.
teenagers.
Yeah,
I know we
nothing.
don't.
a little too
we
young
just
for
hit
the
it-
It's
pub.
the
Just
Quest,
hit
the
up-
Quest City Diner.
Yeah.
Hit the Denny's on the corner.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not that Denny's. The
We
good
go to
Denny's.
D's Pizzeria
Yeah,
to
obviously.
hang out.
Oh
No.
These is people.
no! I need pancakes.
Yeah,
We don't
so-
go to that Denny. Not that Denny's though. The good Denny's. Because there's always two Denny's.
Yeah.
That
Is it-
Denny's.
Oh yeah,
and the
there's always a good Denny's and a bad Denny's.
There's always a good Denny's.
Do you have any idea what they're talking about?
It's a chain of sorts.
A chain of
And
diners
sub-
open
apparently-
24/7.
Subpar breakfast.
There's always a good one and there's
chain,
always
where
a
it's
bad
Yeah.
one.
There's always a good one and a bad one.
It's
Yeah,
true
yeah.
though. It's true though.
That's very true.
It is true, yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
Okay.
that makes
I
sense.
don't know. Are there Denny's? We're at Lenny's.
Yeah.
Lenny's. Yeah.
So, imagine like as they're signing off down below, Crux is just sitting on the edge of the building, his feet dangling over, sketching, and he kind of pauses, looks at the pixel, and goes, "So, Denny's?
Yeah. Not the one on the corner though. The one on second.
No, it's worth the extra mile."
Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah, they'll
Aren't they the same thing? The branding is the same.
no. One is always better.
But the
You might think
lay-
that, Leslie,
the
but that's a lie.
layout is exactly this. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, but it just
Yeah, they have the exact
it's
same
like-
layout.
like so it's like so like Iris and Lily and I are the same, right? We have the same genes, but we are different.
No, I know
It's
you're
like that.
different.
Yeah, so it's like that. Like if we are 3 Denny's, and one is the good
And
one.
one of you is
You are-
bad.
No, it's a really
And
cool
if you
way of
ask our
putting it.
parents, it's Iris. So
Right.
we're going to the Iris Denny's, which is the one on second. We're not going to
Okay.
the one on the corner, which would be like me. We don't go there. We're going to the good one.
Okay. So, does that mean we need to find a third Dennis? So, each one of you has one Dennis for yourselves.
No, that's fine. We
We've
don't
reached
need
the
a
edge of the
Denny's.
metaphor. And also, I don't
Yeah.
think Blackout likes Denny's that much.
Yeah, well.
Okay. So,
Until there's a better
this
place
is
to get pancakes no matter the time of day, we're going to Denny's.
this is a metaphor. I've heard you talk about that before. Okay.
Yes.
I'll try and do better.
You're doing great. Don't worry. You're doing great. And we're gonna go to the good Denny's.
Thank you.
Love Prism.
I would like. I think that I want Violet. I would like you to roll to comfort and support. I think you spent some time trying to explain what this is about and help Leslie understand.
Roll
So
comfort
give me
and
that roll.
support to explain Denny's.
Oh,
Yes.
thank God.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled a 5. These dice are
Okay.
going in timeout. I rolled a
Oh,
5, but I
no.
have a +2 to mundane. So that's a
Okay.
7.
Okay.
And I'm
So on a
These dice
hit,
are
they
going
hear
away.
you. So Leslie, you can mark potential, clear condition, or shift your labels if you open up to Pixel. Which I think you kind of did.
Oh, yeah, I kind of did. Like, thank you. I'll try to do better. It's like a bit of a open up thing.
yeah, you're doing great. Doing a great job. You're narrative.
Yeah.
Let's see if these dice will do
So
better.
what's
I
the
don't think you have any
minimum?
conditions.
No, but what's the minimum
oh,
for the levels?
So you can't go any lower than a 2 or higher than a 3.
Gotcha. Okay.
If something would require you to go higher, like if an adult tells you that you're mundane, or so your mundane is -2. If an adult
Yeah.
were to tell you that you're not very mundane, then you would have to reject or mark a condition. Basically, if your
Gotcha.
number would shift lower than 2, -2, or higher than 3, you have to mark a condition.
So with this interaction, I think I'm gonna shift superior down because like I have no idea what's happening. How am I confused by Denny's? And shift up freak. I think that makes sense.
Okay. Oh, feel a little bit weirder. Okay.
Yeah.
So the group of you meet up again and head your way to the good Denny's. And are you all in costume still? I think you said most of you don't really have a secret identity. So, do those of you who have secret identities, do you change into your secret identity regular civilian clothes, or are you still going as a superhero?
I mean, if they hang out with a bunch of people who are still in their superhero outfits,
That's true,
they're
yeah.
basically giving away their identity, right?
Yeah, no. Superhero outfit.
It probably would, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
my
We're the
superhero
Teen
outfit is really
Titans
fancy
hanging
hoodie,
out
but-
at a freaking pizza joint. That's
Yeah.
what's going on right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Excellent.
I like to think that Crux carries like some sort of bag where he carries a sweater for Leslie after they fight because she likes they like sweaters, and just like puts on a
Sweaters are
sweatshirt.
comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puts the hood up
Robots
and
and
then ties
sweaters
it
are
up.
the greatest thing ever.
So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you for how cute this is.
So I just
Your
watched
hands up.
Space
You're
Sweepers, so
both-
I'm just picturing
Oh, yeah.
Bubs right now.
That's so good.
I'm just thinking of Vision and his sweaters.
yeah.
And this is bullying. Thank you.
I think on the way over, Crux is gonna tear the page out of his notebook he's writing on, and because, Violet,
Yeah.
I do this for you,
Oh. What is it?
and it's just it's a pen sketch drawing of it's like an upshot of Violet on the top of the alligator, holding the sword out, gleaming into the sky.
This is very
It's pretty cool.
dramatic. Yeah,
Oh.
the perspective is really cool. Thank you.
Anyway,
You know,
as you're, yeah, and as he turns back to his notebook, a little skull just like slides onto the page from the side as one of his shades is hanging out.
Nice.
Oh, it's so interesting and weird. I love it. So you get to this Denny's, and I think that there's probably too many of you for a booth. So I think that you're kind of sitting in in one of the larger
what about that
tables
big-
they have.
Like the big round booth.
What about the corner
Okay,
booth?
would you?
Yeah,
Okay,
the
corner
sorry,
booth.
there's a big corner
Then
booth.
somebody can sit on a chair. on the
Oh, we are
outside.
so those assholes who ask to be like moved
Okay.
to the corner booth.
And then we're gonna stay there for like 4 hours.
That's
So-
like that's why Sherry's is better because they have like 7 corner booths. It's a fact.
So I don't need to know exactly where everyone is sitting, but I do want to know who's in the chair and who is on the end of the booth. So like who's not
Chair.
stuck.
Fair.
Okay.
Sit on the-
Easier
I need
for
a third
back
person to not be
reasons.
stuck.
Definitely stuck.
Ah, yeah.
If for some reason there's only one
Leslie's-
chair, then
Leslie's in the middle.
Shadow would give it to Blackout and take the end of the booth. But if there's more than one chair, definitely chair.
Spotlight is sitting,
they could.
leaning against Leslie with her feet up on like the back of the booth, just like taking selfies with them, whether they like it or not.
Flux is
Still
in,
has the
like,
sword
one of
over her shoulder.
Yeah, so
Flux is one of the back corners, drawing a next thing.
I'm like Instagramming my cheese fries.
So I want to say, Iris Spotlight. Is that how you celebrate? Are you celebrating? Are we had a triumphant celebration? Are you like hanging out with Leslie and taking selfies?
It's like currently with Leslie, but she's getting shots of the whole table. It's to post to the socials to be like, and this is what the superhero crew does after a massive victory.
It's like after a theater show, you know, like you go to the diner with the
Yeah.
cast and make the
God.
servers miserable.
Yeah.
Flashbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
God.
just catapulted like 20 years.
You're welcome.
So when you share a triumphant celebration with someone, which I think you're doing, say whether or not it's part of the show. I think that you just sort of said that it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess.
So
what's this from? What thing
this
is
is on. This is one of your team moves.
Okay.
It's on the front of the playbook, or it's somewhere on our Google
That's
Doc
on
here.
it's right under the conditions on the Google Doc, if that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've got it now.
So you've said that it is part of the show. So that means that you can shift your labels as you choose, one up and one down. You're putting on a show. You're celebrating. You're having a good time.
I mean, I don't currently know like what would be a good way to shift my labels.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling it's So like I guess I can run down these labels for you again, because we didn't quite talk about that at the top. But so like danger is how dangerous do you feel about yourself? It's how much of a fight do you feel you are. Freak is more about how weird you feel, how like it's sort of the like how powerful do you feel. It's the how weird and like how much do you feel like you don't fit in with other people because of the weird powers and stuff that you have. Savior is how much you feel like you protect people. It's that pull towards defending, throwing yourself in front of someone else to take damage for them, that kind of thing. Superior is how smart you see yourself. It's how much you think you're better than that person. It's a little bit like the opposite of it's a little bit opposite of mundane, where superior you sort of like feel it's the sort of I feel better than that person in a mundane kind of way, like I'm smarter, but maybe you don't connect with them. And mundane is the how much of a normal person do you feel, how much do you connect with other people on a sort of a human level. Okay,
I mean, I think it would be appropriate to put Savior up and mundane down, because I mean Spotlight never feels like a normal person.
Yeah.
Just no danger of that happening.
So that'll kick you up to a Savior
Get it.
2 and
and
a mundane -2.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you are hanging out here in this Denny's, and you order food. They bring you, it takes them a little while because you're kind of a big group, so they've got to like cook a whole bunch of pancakes and whatever else you've ordered. But eventually they bring out your food, and so you kind of can all have a moment to eat. Blackout, you notice that when there was a big wave of shadow that kind of had splashed onto you, you kind of like tried to brush off most of it. But as you look down at your arm now, you see that there's still some of it on you. You didn't quite get it all. And yeah. And it's starting to grow a little bit and spread.
Oh. Even grosser. Ugh. I'm like taking napkins from the table and like pulling, getting some of it off, and then it just refills in where it was. I'm like, what the hell?
And they're not good napkins. They're kind of the cheap napkins. I think, would any of the rest of you notice that Blackout is kind of like trying to get something off of him?
Iris would, definitely.
Yeah, and
I said
the way that Shadow is definitely.
Yeah, you're like right next to.
You were there when it happened too. You saw it splash the first time. Would you do anything about it? I guess.
Iris would just lean over and be like, "Yeah, you okay?"
I mean, yeah, I'm fine. I just got this gross shadow like gunk on me, I guess, from when I was trying to stop
does
that
not wash
thing. It's not. I can't get it out. Maybe I should go to the bathroom and try like some water or something.
Can I just try? And she'll just like wave her hand and make like a little light scoop and try to like get the shadow off with the light.
Oh yeah, that's not a
and,
bad
like
idea.
surround it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you are able to kind of like make a little scoop, and it kind of like pulls back, almost like in a not quite a live way, but more motion. Like you were kind of expecting to just scoop it, but it actually kind of is repelled by the light a little bit, and so you're able to kind of scoop it up, but it doesn't go away once you've got it in a little like light cup. So what do you do with it?
Can I like bubble it?
Sure.
Just like keep it contained. Do we have any like containers we could put it into?
I mean,
Get
I'm
a to-go
basically
box.
Batman. I would likely have something on me.
I mean, I can put it somewhere safe.
Oh,
Yeah.
go on.
Where would you like to put it?
His hand on like that counter that always runs around the outside, and
Mhm.
just a portion of it with the same darkened brickwork with the pale light. Just
What do I do with that?
well,
Pop it in?
it's safe there mostly.
You just
What do you mean mostly?
Well, there are dead things, but dead things usually aren't that interested in the things I put there. I keep lots of stuff here, and he reaches in, pulls out a bottle of whiskey. Underage drinking for the
Oh,
win.
no.
Spotlight's
Thank
face
you.
lights up.
He puts it back.
Mhm.
So you want to put it
Okay.
in there?
I mean, should we put a shadow thing where dead things are? Is that a
As long as
good
it's
idea.
not on
Yeah.
me, I don't care.
It'd probably be pretty chill, honestly. They're usually pretty
It's not-
relaxed.
it's not like it's gonna hurt.
Except
anything.
when they're not.
It's already dead.
just waves her
You-
finger and the oh sorry.
It's like, well, you can definitely hurt dead things. Figure that out. You can hurt their feelings.
Oh. So this is
Oh.
fine.
So yeah, it doesn't matter.
So we can just throw our garbage in their house? Okay, cool. Chuck it in.
Wait, is that like this is like an amazing solution to the whole landfill problem, by the way. Just saying. And she like
Cool.
waves a finger and the little light orb holding the shadow bobs over
Yeah.
and just drops into the thing.
That is kind of cool, but the problem would be is that I just said you can hurt their feelings.
I mean,
Anyway, get in there. And he lets his hand off the surface, and it just fades back to normal Denny's counter.
So Raymond, tell me about you have some magical aptitude. What does that look like? You do some magic, right?
So, for Ray, his magic looks kind of like a mist, but of shadow. So it's like little flecks of shadow that when he uses it appears to come out of his body, and it's not super strong or anything like that, but it is shadowy, and it's
Okay.
basically just flecks of shadow around.
Mm. And you, your mother also has a little bit of magic, correct?
Just a
Or
smidge.
just a little bit?
Just a smidge.
And how similar would you say your magics are?
So technically where they come from are exactly the same. It is
Mhm.
light control. But
Okay.
my mother does not use shadow. She uses the full spectrum of light and radiation that comes from it.
Mm. Would you be able to like identify if her magic was nearby you? Like, do you sense magic like that?
I don't sense it. I might be able to recognize it, but not definitely, I would say.
Okay. What if it was like in a sphere of light?
Hypothetically.
Just hypothetically.
Hypothetically, I might notice
as a
that. I might go
random
like,
example.
Just just pulling something out of the air. Okay. So maybe I think that you probably don't quite clock what this is. But as this orb kind of floats past you, you kind of like you kind of double take for a second. But then it gets dropped into the wherever things go when Haunt puts them into the dead place.
It's the other side. It's the
The other
action
side.
realm. It's
Yeah.
fine. Nothing will ever go wrong.
No issues. We're doing great.
You're doing great.
Curious.
It's fine.
How would you react to that?
Oh man.
When was the last time you saw your mother? You were at her lab pretty recently, but I don't know that you ran
Yeah.
into each other.
The last time I saw her probably would have been when I left, which was, I would say, probably somewhere around 6 months ago.
Okay, so a little.
So-
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I would turn to Crux. And being that we're still in costume, go, Haunt.
Uh.
Can you get something back out? Can you bring that thing back out?
There's been like a little bit of a lull, and Haunt started to doodle on his arm. His little skull with a bunch of little flowers and hearts drawn around it. And as you address him, he startles. The skull just like floats away, sliding away out off the spot. He just left with a bunch of hearts and flowers on his arm. He looks up and goes, "Yeah, it's usually not a problem. I mean, you saw the bottle."
That's valid. I want to take a look at it. Just one more time.
Okay, I probably need Iris's help because she's really cool and put it inside a bubble of light. And to be honest, the light stuff like that doesn't tend to, stick around for too long in there.
She's
It
okay.
really
Iris
doesn't
is-
fit the aesthetic.
Iris is currently making
Really-
like cool sculptures in the air with her light powers. She's like, I can do that.
Gotta tell you, if there's one thing I've learned about the dead, they really value their aesthetics. Anyway, and Haunt kind of starts moving like the pepper shakers and spent plates that have been eaten and makes a little space on the table. And he puts his hands on the table and you see the little skull friend zoom up and up into his shoulder, and then a few other more less defined shades kind of around, and it gets that pale effect again with the brick pattern, pale black. And leaves one hand on the table and turns to Iris. It's like, so if you just put your head in there, you'll probably be able to see it.
You have to look on the other side.
It's really not
Will
that
it be
exciting.
okay?
Promise.
Is it going to be like in Hercules when he
Oh, yep.
starts like rapidly aging?
Didn't see that movie.
Don't let Best Boy go down there.
Best Boy is the robot, by the way. The little floating robot.
Yeah,
All right.
If
if
I
something
can go with you.
controls her.
It'll probably be fine.
just don't-
I don't know, I think it's exciting. I just don't want to, die.
Oh, it should be fine.
Should?
And now then you'll be in the right place already. I do it all the time. For
I mean,
short
it's
periods
not
of time.
like-
Does she have to go in? Or
Oh, I need her to see it.
Stick
Do
my
you-
head in.
Do you
And
want
an
me
arm.
to
just
do
gonna
it?
kind of
Right,
grab
and Crux will
a hold of her arm just to make sure.
She's like very eager.
Yeah, it's not like we have spares of
And
you
Crux puts his
awake.
head in two while he's there alongside.
Don't grab hold of Crux.
Well, Crux has to keep his hand on the outside to keep the hole open anyway. And as you puts her head in, the way I always imagine it is that this brick wall that you see forms the beginning, and then it just extends outward like a path. But all the stuff he leaves there just like ends up on the ground. So it's like a lot of art supplies, an abnormally large amount of art supplies, some shoes, a change of outfit. The whiskey is not the only alcohol.
Oh no.
Some other crap, some closed bags,
So this is just
And
his
where-
backpack.
how's the shadow
basically.
hanging out, James? Yeah,
I
he
think
doesn't
it's-
carry a bag.
I guess Iris, would you be able to maintain a light orb
Yeah.
in this other dimension?
Oh, probably not. Well, like once it got shut off before, I imagine the
Okay,
light
probably
orb
not.
maybe stopped.
Okay. So then
Do you
when
get a black stain on my
you-
bag? I'm going to be annoyed. It's not very cool.
so you kind of poke your head in, and amongst all of this sort of detritus and stuff and random knickknacks, you see this little like blob. It's even maintained the shape that it had when you pulled it into a circle, and it starts to roll towards your face, towards this opening, and slides towards you. In a like it's gonna splat you in the face if you don't put your
Yeah.
head back kind of way.
Just like, no. Just points a finger at it and the orb appears around it again and floats towards her.
Okay. So so yeah, then you have control over it and you pull it out. Do you pull it out into our universe again?
Yeah, I guess. Because, oh my god, I'm forgetting everyone's names. Ray wanted to see it.
Raymond wanted to look at it.
Yeah. So she'll just, the orb will kind of float out as she's like coming back from the
Yeah.
portal.
Crocs will keep his head in for another second, kind of puts his fingers and lips, grabs a bottle, unscrews it, takes a drink, screws it back,
Oh.
closes it, comes back out.
You have to let me in on your stash.
I couldn't hear that because my earbud came out.
Oh, she said, you have to let me in on your stash.
Oh, that was after Spotlight backed out. Get the line.
I know, she's like whispering it.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, maybe if the dead people are cool with it. And he turns to the little skull that's hanging out and says, "Skelly, is that okay if other people leave stuff in there?"
Oh no, she just meant she wanted some of your booze.
Yeah, but Crux didn't clock that.
Oh god, oh this boy.
Oh.
Implacable as ever. Points to the little skull on the table.
So Ray.
You guys are weird. Alright, let me take a look at this thing. Ray just kind of like puts his hands together and then just that little bit of wispy shadow forms. And just gonna try and feel for the energy coming off of this thing.
Hmm. Could you do that through the light sphere? Do you think?
Probably.
Mm.
Been like a little sunroof in it.
Like,
Yeah.
Spotlight,
Little whip.
are you able to make a hole in this thing?
I mean, yeah, but we don't want the shadow to leak out.
Yeah, well, hopefully I can keep it contained. I don't know. But, I believe in you. And being able to get it if it gets out.
Leslie kind of pokes Ray on his shoulder and just slides one of the soda cups towards Ray. It's a container.
Not a
Crux
terrible
will
idea.
grab that one and be like, "That one's mine, but you can use this one. It's empty."
Push it again against towards Raymond.
There's
This is
dozen
also a
glasses of
container.
water.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just kind of like hold the container in like the upward area and be like, you can make a hole near that. If it tries to escape, I'll,
Cup it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Okay. It's
Wallop.
definitely the thing to be doing in a restaurant where loads of civilians are nearby. Okay, let's do this.
Oh yeah, hang on. I like get my phone ready.
It's not a restaurant, it's a Denny's.
Should we?
Yeah, there's like a couple other people, but it's
Should we be doing this at the bad Denny's then?
You
No, it's
raise
cool.
A really good point, but
We
I
should
don't
be,
think we have
but,
time to
yeah.
go to the bad Denny's.
Uh,
But
part
yeah.
of what
Very
makes the good
sure.
part of what makes the good Denny's is they let you play Pathfinder in the back if you buy food once.
yeah.
You still playing
They have
Pathfinder?
arcades back there?
It's from my dad. It's from my parents. It's an embarrassing thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so most of you probably don't know what that means. It's like a tabletop RPG, kind of like Quest, where you roll dice when you want to do things. You tell a story
Oh
together.
my
It's pretty
God,
cool.
I forgot you're such a
I have
fucking
No
nerd.
idea what you're talking about.
I mean, just play
No,
video
my-
games like normal people.
Yeah, jeez.
My parents
you
are
have a
nerds.
computer,
I'm not a
right?
nerd. I'm cool. It's fine. I have a computer.
Spotlight, can we get this over with?
She's actually doing this. And then Best Boy like swerves around to get in like prime filming spot and starts recording. Not live streaming, just recording. In case this goes horribly wrong, we can delete it.
Just as
Taking,
that
like,
happens, goes,
artful-
wait 1 minute.
Yeah.
Pulls out a thing and like a fan that he shoves right into the side, so his face is covered from the recording.
So you reach out. It's like the little hole in the top of this sphere of light opens up, and you reach out again to kind of like sense at this thing to get a sense of what kind of magic perhaps is working it. And as your magical sort of sense touches its magical sense, you feel something familiar. You feel confident now that this is something this is a piece of magic that was worked by your mother. And you hear in your voice, like in your head, her voice, and she says, "My son." And then it starts to evaporate a little bit, and like wisps of like stark smoke kind of start to billow out, and all of the lights in this Denny's go out. All the lights on the street go out. All the lights everywhere in the city go out. Everything is plunged into darkness. The lights on your phones, everything is just it's not like power outage darkness. It's like the light itself has been sucked out of the whole city.
Close it,
Someone
close
else
it, close it.
Can anyone else see in the dark?
Well, shit.
And I think that might be a good time to take a break.
Piece
Oh!
of shit.
No, here's our light.
It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I like
fine.
shadows.
City's
Totally
still
Yeah.
got light.
Yeah, no, shadows are great. It's my
Thing-
name.
No concerns. None.
The
Things
city
die in the
is just
dark.
experiencing a blackout.
Zero
Blackouts
concerns.
happen all the time.
Oh,
Don't they
fucking
usually?
credits.
All the spotlights went out above us.
The haunting.
Who's the cool
It was
one?
very haunting, but and it really sucks. All the pixels on the smartphones are gone.
I would
too.
say all of the pixels
Yeah,
on my
they're
phone
all-
are gone.
Yeah.
Do me, do me, do me. No.
Sorry,
It's impossible.
not really a prismatic way to do this. So, game with what I said. Yes,
Thank.
I personally want to thank everyone that's here. I have multiple sclerosis. We are raising money for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, the NMSS. There we go. I did it. And we appreciate everyone that's been here, everyone that's been donating. All bits, all subscriptions, any kind of donation is going straight to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. To really help out with people who have MS that need help in many different ways, including just support. So all your support is fantastic. We appreciate everyone being here, and we'll be back in somewhere around 10 minutes for more Masks fun.
Masks.
Yeah. Get a drink.
Yeah, hydrate,
Stand
take your
up, walk
meds.
around.
Masks.
Get some
Masks.
Death Rum whiskey.
Masks. Mask men.
Masks.
And we are back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Masks Game / Multiple Sclerosis fundraiser. I love all of you, many of you. There's quite a number. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it a lot. Just remember that every bit, every sub, every donation, anything that comes in this whole week until Saturday goes to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, which is there to help people with multiple sclerosis, which is a neurological disorder that deals with basically the immune system attacking nerves. It helps them help people that are going through that in many different ways. So we appreciate very much any help you give, any views you give, and any signal boosting you do. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
But alas, I believe that we are currently dealing with some sort of power outage.
A blackout, if you would.
Yeah.
Isn't Power Outage another game?
Nat, get out.
So, I guess we see we turn the page because there was a break in the comic book. It just was like an ad that said, "Hey, go take
One of
a
those,
break, drink some water." Yeah, one of those speaking ads in a comic book.
Get your official Quest City merch.
Yeah, there was a pamphlet for with a discount code for buying Quest stuff.
What
It is
was
what
that
it is.
code?
What was that code?
I don't remember.
What was that code?
Doesn't matter.
It was no
the
initiative.
paper.
all caps.
The paper fell on the floor. But the next page is again the same. It's kind of the same full panel, like large pictures of the city that we saw at the very beginning of the comic. But now instead of seeing this like very bright, colorful city with a large crocodile, admittedly, running through it, now we see a dark city. We see a darker than dark city. We see a city that has been plunged into a blackout, that has had all of the light not just cut off, but sucked out of it. We see just like gray outlines of buildings. We see sort of the hints of people walking. The page is very dark. And we come to the outline of this kind of the sketchy outline of the Good Denny's. And we move in and we see all of our heroes sitting around this table. And so, yeah, I guess the first thing is how many of you can see in the dark, like truly dark, like there's no light? I know that Blackout probably has some ability to control darkness. I would imagine Haunt is not too uncomfortable in the dark. Spotlight, I guess something I should clarify. Do you generate light?
Yeah, like the light comes
Or do
from
you just
her.
control,
so
like-
I'm wondering if, by that logic, because this is so logical, she is able to see in darkness. I don't know.
So if you have the ability to generate light, and maybe you start to glow a little bit, like just sort of as an instinctive thing. Normally that glow might have been very bright. It might have been overwhelming. It might have been a spotlight, if you will. But now it's like, no matter how much energy you put into it, no matter how much force and focus you try to illuminate things around you, you can only kind of just glow a little bit. You can just like light up just maybe like a half a foot to a foot away from you. Just so people can see you, but you can maybe only, like, if you wave your hand over the table, you can kind of see where things were. But like that light just dissipates and bleeds away from you as fast as you could generate it.
I have a question.
Yes.
If I take out my phone, the light's gone, but can I read it?
Weird.
Weird corner case questions.
Yeah. So I think that it's like everything else. The light is there and the light is being generated, but the instant that it starts to like project out of the phone and into your eyes, it's pulled away to somewhere else. So maybe you can see the kind of like sketchy outlines of where things were. Like you can kind of see circles where apps would be and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's not super usable, I think.
I would also like to try. I mean, this is something Spotlight would do. Is she sees this happening with the glow that she makes on herself, but then I think she tries to make like light shapes in the air, or tries to make Best Boy glow, and sees if that does anything else.
So Best Boy is a little floating like phone robot, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing. So Best Boy can float and do all the things that they normally do, but it's the same as the phone. It's like as soon as the light leaves, it's being pulled away to somewhere else. So you kind of just see the sketchy outline. Your physical light that you can manifest, it does manifest as physical objects. As I punch my microphone,
Show it
now
who's
it's a real
boss.
podcast. As you manifest the physical things, they are physically there. They are tangible. You can feel them. You can summon something and then grab it, but it doesn't glow. It doesn't light. It's like all of the energy is being sucked immediately out of
I'm
it.
curious, if Blackout then tries to sort of manipulate that shadow itself, let's say around, like using Best Boy's, usually illuminated screen as like a practice thing, am I able to prevent the shadow from absorbing the light somehow? Like if I'm trying to sort of pull the shadow away myself? Can I create like at least a small test field of like making light function normally?
So normally you have a little bit of control over shadows and darkness.
Right. The way I've sort of thought of it is it's like because Spotlight generates light, I then am able to like manipulate existing darkness and shadows. Like I don't generate it myself. I need something that's already there.
So okay, so if your thought here is that you'd like to try to like pull the shadow away to like create an area of regular light, then I think that you should roll to unleash your powers, and we'll see what the dice say.
Spicy.
Yeah.
I forget, what is that? Freak?
It's plus freak, yeah, which is I believe 0 for you.
That's a 7.
Okay, so when you unleash your powers to overcome an obstacle, reshape your environment, or extend your senses, you roll. On a hit, you do it. So you're able to do this. But on a 7 to 9, you have to mark a condition, or let me tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
I'll mark a condition, I think.
Okay.
I think
How does this make you feel?
I love how masks let you ask your players how it makes them
I know,
feel.
it's so good. I'm a little torn. I think I'll mark afraid. Because this is like something weird with like shadow that I've never experienced before, so I'm definitely sort of stretching myself in a new way.
Yeah, because I think there's a way in which like you're comfortable with shadow, but trying to like pull shadows away to allow light to work normally is a little bit more like generating light than you're used to.
Right.
I think that you do feel pretty comfortable working in the darkness. Like the shadow itself is the kind of shadow that you're used to, the absence of light. But
maybe insecure would make more sense, actually.
Okay.
I think that says the same thing I was trying to say, but better.
Yeah. You're finding that it's always a little bit weird when you find like the edges of your powers.
Right.
Because I think normally people feel pretty powerful. You do cool things, and then to be like, oh, this is the limit of what my cool things can do, is interesting. So you are able to pull back the darkness, the shadow, that is sort of clinging to everything and everywhere. And in this little like sphere around, you said it was Best Boy, they can produce light, and you see everything there kind of in full color. Their screen, their flash, whatever, their light for the camera kind of turns back on. It hits the edge of this sphere you've made, and everything again dissipates to darkness. but within this sphere, things sort of are colored normally and lit normally.
Question.
Yes.
Does he seem to be just absorbing visible light? Because I think Leslie would probably be able to see below, like infrared, ultraviolet, maybe some radio.
Good point. No, it is not just absorbing visible light. It is absorbing all kinds of light, all kinds of energy. And so...
Damn.
Hey, Ray. Oh, sorry. Hey, Ray, Leslie, any idea where this is going? It'd be really, really, really chill if you could share.
Going?
Like something's
I-
taking it, right?
Yeah, that's how it feels to me. I mean, that's what the voice in my head keeps describing what I'm seeing as.
Just give me a second. I want to do this, but I really want to try, because my powers are so similar to my mother's, even though they're weaker, to suppress this thing. Like, can I understand how? Like, to keep it from expanding outward?
Well, so like the darkness is all around you already. It's all over the city.
But yeah, but I mean the actual thing that escaped.
Oh, like the original little bit of darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you... Okay, so here's what happens. So you feel around with your powers to find that little like wisps of magic that were there. And you are able to find it. It's still kind of floating. It's sort of has expanded into a cloud of like thin particles of magic all around the table. But as you feel out with your magic, you can kind of grab it and you can pull it back into a little like kind of like wiggling orb of whatever dark shadowy magic it was. And you can kind of hold it in front of you if you want.
So I've got this orb of shadow.
Yeah. Within the darkness. It's like even darker.
Yeah. Crux, can you... I don't know if this will work, but can you open a doorway, gateway, whatever the hell it's called, to your place?
Yeah, give me a second here. He puts down his notebook and just his hands on the table. And
as this is happening, you just see like Leslie just... They were super relaxed, and suddenly as Ray starts messing with that, and they kind of start understanding that Ray's too focused on this, and knowing Ray, it means that it's probably related to his mother. Leslie just like stays still, completely like grips the edge of the table, and you see like their fingers just start denting the edge of the table. Carry on, Nat.
Crux puts his arms into the sphere of light. You can imagine it touches part of the table. And as you do that, you can just see these shadows of pieces of bones depicted just running down his fingers and then run away from the light back into the darkness. As he puts his hands on the table and does that little boom. Same pattern as usual. Unless James has something to say about it.
No, I think that
this
it
feels
works.
the kind of thing that might mess with this.
No, I think that works. I don't think there's anything preventing that.
Cool.
And then just thrust this thing in, kind of like a throw almost,
Mm-hmm.
and then just pull my hands back up really quick and go, close it.
Yeah, of course. And he starts bringing it. He just brings his hands up, and it just fades.
Yeah, and I think you as you see like in this little sphere of light, where you can actually see where the portal has opened to this little like wiggling orb of dark shadow is pushed in, and it immediately turns around and starts to sort of almost drift back out, but the portal closes before it can get out.
Actually, can I like try to get a couple of the shades in there to like try to stop it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could do that.
I mean, that's kind of what I do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the shades so it starts to drift its way back out, but a couple of these shades slide into the portal and kind of grab it and hold onto it and pull it back down. So they'll
Yeah.
keep it, and I guess even once you've closed the portal, they'll hold onto it and make sure
Yeah.
it doesn't run away to somewhere else in the dark, wherever that dimension
Hopefully.
is. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Who knows?
Lose hands up, closes. Does the world become better?
No, it does not.
Didn't think so.
It does not. No.
You
With one exception, you do see some flashes of light outside. You can't really see what's going on, but it's up in the sky above you. And you can't really
Skelly.
from inside this building. You can't really see.
so
Hey, Skelly, can you check that out? It'd be really cool.
I get up and go out immediately.
Crux is
James,
grabbing his
as-
notebook to write down, and
But it's
Crux.
dark, so no one can see.
As this is happening, and they're busy doing this, the Leslie's fingers just crunch the table until they just snaps, probably in half, a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to use a mind of their own to see if I can
Okay.
change my powers to
Interesting.
tackle this. Because
Okay.
usually how Leslie's powers work is they absorb the radiation and then turn it into visible light and then morph it to infrared to make the explosions and the heat. I want to try and, instead of absorbing the radiation, absorbing the darkness around. See if that works.
Okay. So the way that a mind of their own works is I'm just pulling
Mark
up
a
the
condition,
playbook.
right?
Everything is frozen. A mind of their own. Yeah, your powers evolve and mutate. You're able to find when you're facing an obstacle or threat that your powers will not be able to deal with. You can mark a condition to gain a brand new ability adopted for the situation. You lose these powers. Yeah. So okay. So what condition are you gonna mark?
Angry, definitely.
Okay. And then, yeah. So you definitely feel whatever mechanisms inside your body or whatever are responsible for managing these powers and energies. Things change, things shift around. Your sensors that kind of feel the ultraviolet lights, the EM radiation and stuff like that, they shift, and suddenly you can see lines of energy and darkness swirling around you, kind of like fireflies. And I think that you're gonna find that you can suck in this darkness as raw energy to be able to wield, or whatever it is that you need to be able to do to manifest.
Nice. Leslie will just stand up after snapping the table and start reeling in the darkness around them. And instead of before, when they did this, the light within their diamond bits beneath the metal kind of glows with a rainbowy color. But now I guess it's just this dark purple kind of miasma thing inside the diamond bits. And just trying to create a bubble of visibility for at least us.
Yeah, I think that you're able to do that. I think it's not a lot of light, and I think so it's where Spotlight is able to generate enough light that you can see her glow, and where Blackout was able to pull back the shadow in that one sphere, you're able to just absorb some of the darkness. So it's a much broader sphere. It's a much broader area around you, but it's not fully returned to light. It's things are still dark, things are shadowed. It's like regular nighttime when there's no light, where light still can propagate around. But you're sucking in some of this darkness. So people can kind of see each other a little bit now, a little bit better.
Nice.
You're not in total pitch black.
Any idea what's going
What do you
on?
guys do?
Well, I've run outside.
Oh, that's right. So Ray, when you get outside, you see something of an impressive light show in the sky. There's it's like one of those shows where people are, or where after fireworks or something like that, they'll use lasers to project an image or graphic in the sky, except there's no smoke or anything. It's probably actually the clouds, because I think it's daytime, or it was daytime before you guys went into this Denny's, and so it's just clouds. And so from somewhere in the city there is like laser lights that are shooting up into the sky in 100 colors. Could you tell me what does Dr. Light look like? Like, if this is projecting her face or her shoulders and up, what does it look like as a super villain?
So like her super villain persona. Yes,
Yeah,
Dr. Light,
costume.
not her. Not you. So Dr. Light would be wearing basically, what you would consider the normal like white lab coat kind of a thing. Just simple white lab coat, but a golden half bird mask. It just kind of comes out that way. Her hair would actually just be glowing and put back in a bun, but it is glowing golden with just light kind of pouring out of it. She's about 5. I think she's about 5'3". Slender woman, but simply dressed, but also right.
Yeah, well, and especially now as we're seeing her not 5'3", but like her the visually produced like bust of her, hundreds of feet projected over the top of the city, and we see the bird mask kind of look down, and there's this kind of like it's a little bit like a thunderous voice, but it's not loud, it's not like sound, it's like energy being projected straight into wherever you are, and you hear her familiar voice speak out and say, "Do not worry, citizens of Quest City. I have taken all of the energy. I will be its shepherd. I will do great works with it. I will keep you safe in a way that the heroes of this city never could. I will push us into the future. And if you behave, I might return some of your light to you."
Sure, sounds legit.
Fuck.
Yeah. And this big sort of like laser light, it's not a super accurate portrayal, like it's not to color, it's just like colored lasers etching out an outline, and it all sort of like turns off. And I think that you are familiar enough with where you are in the city. You've been to the Denny's before, and you've also been to her lab, so you kind of have a good sense of where maybe this is being projected from.
Yeah. Ray's gonna kick the Denny's door back open. Be like, "Let's go. I know where we have to go."
Okay, however, we have to stop this, because I hate this. Let's go.
It's
No one
her,
can see you.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's her.
Okay. Let's just like, without speaking any other word, just walks like slowly towards the door and gets next to Ray.
Yeah. And Ray
On the table
sheepishly
for food.
energies towards Pixel. Just sheepish energy towards Pixel. That's it. And then turns away.
Crux is
We're
going
running
to.
for our fill and get
Yeah.
up and follow.
Crux is on the way out going to tear out a piece of his notebook and fold it as he's written a little apology card. Leave it on the Denny's counter. And he also just like he reaches into, and he's like, "Oh, crap, where's my wallet?" And reaches into the Ashen Realm, pulls out a $20 bill and puts it on the table.
Aw.
I have to ask, where in
What
the
was that?
Ashen Realm is this $20?
No, that's something that he's put in there before. You like
No, no.
reach in there
Ashen
for his
wallet.
No,
wallet.
I get that.
Yeah.
I'm saying, where in the Ashen Realm is how far away from the shadow is the $20?
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, do I come out with a shadow stain after grabbing my
No,
wallet?
I think we
Do you not
get
have
a panel.
pockets to keep
I
your
think-
wallet.
Why would you do that when you have an Ashen Realm? I think we see a couple panels in the Ashen Realm of just your hand like reaching around trying to grab things, and you almost grab the shadow, but instead you grab the $20 and pull back out, and then the shades that are in there are kind of like pushing it back in one direction to keep it away from your hand. So you're fine.
Crux is doing fine, I promise.
Leslie
have
throws their sweatshirt to Crux.
Yeah. Which he just chucks back in the Ashen Realm because that's where he keeps it.
I think
The ashen
Blackout.
coat hook.
I think Blackout is still gonna start hovering on like a new shadow thing, which I imagine is probably like really easy for them right now.
Yeah, I think that like normally you have to kind of like there's like a little disc. I think right now you feel like you could probably like just straight up fly. Like you can just like if you can
Sweet.
kind of move through shadows, like you're feeling a little bit more in control of this than maybe you ever normally do.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool, Lily. Do you think you could fly all of us? Are you that cool?
I mean, I could probably do something to help everybody move around, actually, if that would help. Maybe make like a bigger platform. It would be the same as everybody else flying, but, you know, I might be able to help you move in case, you know, all you people with your silly normal eyes who can't see where you're going want to, like, avoid some stubbed toes or whatever. How you doing, Spotlight? Doing good?
I'm fine.
Great!
She's trying to make a light
Convers-
disc appear for herself.
We've had the
Yeah,
conversation about not making people without powers feel uncomfortable about things. We're just doing our best.
Okay, I think we all just need to be a little more chill. Come on, it's fine.
I mean, it's not fine. Like, this shit's weird.
But
But-
we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fly over and we're gonna, do the superhero thing, and we're all gonna be really cool.
Yeah, because it worked so well the first time when we got our asses handed to us.
You do
This
realize
is
you're
how
just really,
strong
you're
she is.
really mellowing my mood here.
You know,
Come
a little
on.
better. What to expect,
I-
sort of. It'll be fine.
Apologize. I guess.
You know, the worst thing is because it's completely dark, we can't film it. So, like, this is useless,
Oh,
basically.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you could get like audio. You could do like a found footage thing, like with just audio.
Like a Blair Witch
Just listen
Project.
to
That would
audio
be
of
pretty
something.
neat. Oh, no. Can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah.
Can't be entertaining, possibly.
No,
Yeah,
definitely
no,
not.
just audio. Ugh.
Just
Sounds
like the
real
sounds of
boring.
superheroes
And then you
doing
ha-
stuff.
And then you have to like imagine what the pictures look.
Who would do
Ugh.
that?
You know, Pixel, you're really good with technology, right? Could you like make like a little pod that flows around and just casts out sound? Like a podcaster?
That sounds
Probably.
silly.
Yeah, it's I don't know, but I mean, Best Boy's got a good audio pickup on him, so you could at least like record the audio if you wanted.
We'll figure something out. Maybe we can, like, I don't know, commission some animation or something.
Coming to you live from the Good Denny's
Oh, well, we make the animation
on route to
with our
Oh.
powers.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Do y'all think the good Denny's knows it's the good Denny's?
I mean, of course.
Oh, they
know
have
there's a good
to.
Denny's.
I think, yeah, like you don't get to be the Good Denny's without going through some shit. Like they
mean,
know.
Yeah, and there's literally a sign that says "The Good Denny's" in the corner of the window.
It's the rate of the food.
Well,
Food,
that's
but like
well, I mean, I put that there the last.
Oh,
time
that
I
was-
here. Just
Okay.
nobody noticed.
That
Just
makes
like
sense.
crayon on the back of a menu.
Yeah, just like
I was wondering why it looked like that.
they haven't noticed.
Anyway,
yet,
am I
so.
flying us all somewhere?
Yes, it's progression happening.
yeah. So I
No,
think
this is
to
fine.
to
This is
sort
good
of
audio.
yeah to pull your powers together and make a big disc of shadow to fly everyone. I would like you to roll to unleash your powers just to sort of see how this goes.
I'm gonna also keep hitting my microphone because
Yeah.
I moved things around. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, just kidding. I can't do it.
Oh, no.
Shit, that was a plus. I always forget.
You're freak 0, right?
Freak.
Plus freak, yeah. So that's a big old 4.
Oh no.
Get
Okay.
potential.
Potential.
Yeah,
Oh,
mark
yeah.
potential.
Hey, you get
Don't forget.
potential, yeah.
Fail forward, everyone.
Yeah.
Always fail forward.
Okay.
This is gonna be bad.
You're
So-
welcome.
So you all head outside, presumably. You're not gonna try to
Mhm.
fly from inside the Denny's.
We're not gonna fly.
Uh,
Not in the good Denny's.
not in the good Denny's.
Yeah,
Not here.
Um,
Somebody already
And
kicked the
you-
door in.
Somebody already broke this table. Like we gotta
Evil.
get out.
yeah. And so Blackout, you start to try to form this big disc. And you find that it's actually pretty easy to do. Like normally you have to kind of struggle a little bit to pull the shadows together and to make a little disc just to fly yourself. But here in this world of darkness now, as it were, you can you can pull together a rather large disc. And it feels, for the rest of you, it feels pretty solid. You can step on it. It'll definitely support you. And Blackout, you're able to like lift it up and start to fly everyone. You know where the lab is. You've been there before. But at some point as you're traveling in that direction, you realize that like, gee, this disc is moving faster than really you intended to. And it's really not like moving quite in the direction you intended. It's generally the right direction. Like you're definitely moving towards the lab. But as you go to like adjust the direction a little bit, you find that you can't. And as it starts to like to move even faster, you try to slow it down a little bit, and you find that you can't. And suddenly you kind of realize, gee, it doesn't really feel like you're really in control of this disc at all.
Does it
Is that
feel
some-
like something else is in control, or do I feel like, kind of like I'm trying to like knock something around on, like a floor of ice, and I'm just sort of like I'm Mario skidding around on the like
It
ice
definitely-
level right now?
It definitely feels like something else is in control of this shadow disc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blackout, you're
Okay.
flying a little recklessly.
I don't think it's me. I'm sure it's
Oh.
fine.
Oh no.
Maybe like
Excuse?
hold on.
I appreciate the confidence.
Anytime. Don't panic.
I'm fine. This is fine.
I'm-
This is like the best day of my life.
I'm gonna panic just a little bit. Just
That's a treat.
Right?
like a little panic as a treat.
So I can tell it's not being dragged towards the lab anymore.
No, it's
then,
definitely going
right?
towards the lab.
Oh, it is.
You're
okay.
100% going towards the lab. You're just not in control.
Wonder
I'm
who
just
could
not
be
in
doing that.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting there. I
No,
guess that's
is
what
this you?
matters, right?
Spotlight's gonna just repeatedly attempt to like use her powers over and over again.
Um,
See if
I'm
you
sure
can
it'll
get
work
any
this
better.
time.
I love this
Shut
idea.
up!
I love that you're able to like create a disc. Like if you were like normally you could create a disc to help levitate yourself, but every time you do, it's sort of like it hits, it becomes a physical disc, and it just like flies off toward in the back as you're moving, and then you like focus and create another disc, and it just like flies off behind you, and like you're just leaving this whole trail of like hard light discs behind
Like when you
you.
put
That's
something like on a
amazing.
treadmill and turn the treadmill
Yeah.
on.
I mean,
Exactly.
she can make them move with her. Is the idea? So is it just like she has lost control of
No,
them? And
you
they
just totally lost. Like they just don't have
Okay.
enough. Like you have enough energy to kind of form them, but not enough to like, make them levitate or fly or move in the direction
Okay.
you want. And
This
so
is
what?
fun.
What does this? I guess I don't know who. Like 2 or 3 of you, just give me some details about what Dr. Light's lab looks like. Just like what is some interesting sciencey, ominous, sorcery, evil villain lab, like the outside the building.
The rooftop is covered in these novelty antennas that no one really knows what they do.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think that there's a like an array of solar panels like in a big field next to it that it's like, oh, like we're a green building. We have these solar panels. But
Yes.
it's like, no.
Mhm.
They're
There's also,
evil
like-
solar panels.
Fake grass on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, like they're like, oh, like
Yeah.
we're a green building, like we have all these solar panels, but like those are nefarious solar panels.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they're doing
Know
some
it, but
shit.
just by looking at them.
Yeah, you can just tell.
Anything else? One more thing I'm looking for, maybe.
I've said
One
a
more
lot already.
ominous.
One of you get.
There's like different side buildings, and they're all interconnected by these metallic tubes, mysterious metallic tubes.
Interesting. So I'll add to that. I don't know that any of you have seen this building from the sky before. I think you kind of snuck in on the ground, perhaps last time. But it's hard to see. I think that it's because again, like there's no light, so you're not really seeing the colors of things, the details of things. You're just sort of seeing the sort of sketchy outlines. And I think that that's what helps you. Like normally you would get focused on like the materials, you would focus on the kinds of things, the grass, the colors, all that stuff. But here, floating towards this thing as you start to pan over this building, you can see that it looks like this big magical rune. Like the buildings themselves make up this rune of some sort, and this disc of yours slides over and comes to a stop above those solar dishes, almost like the solar dishes were pulling you towards it, and you kind of stop and hover for a second, and you can hear the sounds of machinery kind of clanking and whirring and grinding underneath you, and your disc starts to lower, and as you and it lowers down, and you see the grass and the discs or the dishes, the solar dishes, rise up around you as you're lowered into the ground of this building, and you hear the clang as it closes above you. And so maybe like 20, 30 feet above you, you're kind of in a big open space now. And you see in this dark of darkness, bars, like electrical, like it's like beams of light, except it's beams of darkness pop up around you to make a cage of darkness in your world of darkness.
This is fine.
Yeah, fuck.
Like
Well,
any
you
of
know,
this.
All we need now is a black hole sun.
Don't give anyone ideas.
Oh, is some person in the
Wouldn't
sky
that-
gonna
wouldn't that be
hear me
Raymond?
and just like run with it? Like that just seems silly. Come on, Blackout.
What should we do?
I'm gonna try getting off the disc.
You can
Good
definitely
idea.
walk off the disc. I think that maybe even as like the first of you step off the disc dissipates, and you're kind of just left on like what feels like concrete metal floor or metal flooring.
Also, we've just been like brought over here as a trap.
Yeah.
Most of us can't use
Something
our
like that.
powers. This is really fun. I'm
But-
having a great day.
Probably
We
because they
Can I?
underestimate us.
Have to stop this.
Can
Don't
I
give up.
use a move?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I would like,
would you like to do?
use my move straight up creeping.
Okay.
Seems like a good time to use straight up creeping.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you scope out a person or place, roll plus mundane. So
Okay.
this is a place, and I am going to scope
Yeah.
it out.
Do a lap of the inside of your little weird
Yeah.
darkness cage.
Yeah. Ooh, well that's an 11, and I have a +2 to mundane, so that's a 13.
Oh boy. Okay.
Um,
So on a 10 plus, you get to ask 2 of these questions.
yes,
What would you like to ask?
I would like to ask. Let's see. I would like to ask, what's the best way in/out? I'm gonna go with it's likely out is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And who or what here is not what they seem.
Who or what here is not what they seem?
Yeah.
And what's the best way in or out?
Yeah. Straight up creeping.
So you're creeping around, you're looking. You're straight up creeping.
Great.
And you, as your eyes adjust to this darkness again, because it's like a darker darkness, layers of darkness, darker and darker. There's you see the shape of this room that you're in. You can kind of get a sense of how big it is. And off on against one wall opposite your cage, there's a computer terminal that presumably controls this whole thing. If you feel pretty confident, having not looked at it or touched it, that you could probably deactivate this cage if you had some way of interacting with this terminal.
Cool. Yeah.
I don't know how you would do that, but it's definitely just like a regular. It's just like a regular computer on like a nice kind of like standing table.
Okay.
And what here is not what it seems. What here is not what it seems. I think all of you. There's not a lot of who's here.
Yeah. Figured it might be more of a what.
Yeah. I think that this. I think that you start to like see the different kinds of machinery, because there are more kind of like big machines around this cage, and I think that the thing that's not what it seems is that this feels like a cage, but I think it's not a cage. I think it's some kind of a device that's designed to absorb light energy. Like if you were a supervillain, hypothetically, and you knew that there was someone in your city who could like produce a lot of light,
Hypothetically.
you might want to try to like hypothetically, you might want to try to grab them and pull them to your secret base, and get them to generate energy to power all of your hypothetical nefarious plans.
Okay.
Yeah. So like outside like there's weird like outside of this cage, like there is the cage that you are in, but outside of it there's receivers, there's like light, there's more solar panels. Like if someone were in this cage trying to like wield light powers to break out, they would have to emit light, but then there are a lot of weird receivers that could receive it.
Okay. And this is a
just
like
that's the vibe you're getting.
Yeah, and I'm assuming like as a cage, is there like if I were to like reach my hand like through it, like can I pass through it and it's just like very small like bits in the cage, or is it like a solid thing but like I can reach through? Okay.
It's like bars of dark light.
Okay. So
there's definitely
Pixel,
gaps. You could almost try to squeeze through.
Like this is my time to shine. So Pixel is a hacker. So I imagine that she has like she's used to like she'll hack into like video feeds and stuff, like when her siblings are out doing like hero things, will like hack into video feeds stuff. So I think she has like a little, I'm thinking like a la BioShock, like a remote hacking tool that you just kind of like can shoot it at a computer to hack it remotely. So I would like to try and hit this computer terminal with my little remote hacker tool and like hack into it from inside of the cage.
Okay, yeah. So give me a roll to unleash your powers.
Yeah, which is what I'm so good
unfortunately.
at. I'm so good at unleashing my powers. Oh, I'm not bad at unleashing my powers. It's a 7.
Oh, there you go.
It's an 8 minus 1.
Okay.
Get it.
So you do it. But now you have that choice. Where do you want to mark a condition, or do you want me to tell you how it's unstable or temporary?
Oh, I'm gonna mark a condition. I'm gonna mark.
Okay.
Afraid. This shit's weird. I don't like it.
Yeah. There's a lot of darkness and weird powers going around.
Yeah.
It's like not what you do.
Yeah, like I know about powers because I live with 2 superheroes, but like this shit's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I know dark and
So,
light, but this is like a little. No.
and normally there's like two really big flashy superheroes to draw the attention away from you, but here they're kind of
Yeah.
stifled a little bit. So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to just take down the cage?
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's like step one
Okay.
is like take down the cage, and then we'll figure.
Okay.
Like, we have to get out of the cage before we can do anything else.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you shoot out your little like remote hacker thing. It hits the computer, does whatever computer thing it does. This little like
Yeah.
zaps
comic
of
book
electricity.
computer stuff.
Yeah, comic book computer stuff. And these beams of darkness that are forming this cage around all of you drop to the floor and like kind of like they stop being emitted, and you have some freedom to move around here in this dark lab room.
Yeah. As that happens, Violet just goes, "I'm in," and then the cage comes down.
Yeah.
Nice.
Of course.
Otherwise,
Such
I'm
a
not a
nerd.
hacker.
Thank you.
Otherwise,
Do you say it loud enough that other
Nerdy
people can
just-
hear you?
like I said it to myself, but like my siblings could definitely hear because they
We
know
know.
that they know that I do it. They're like, yeah, nerdy just
I
got
imagine,
out of the
like-
cage.
I said thank you.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Anyway,
Thank
So what
you.
what did the rest of you do now that you're sort of a little bit freer?
what's the level of darkness like in this room now that the cage is gone? Is it still the same as outside where like all the light was taken away? Or is Leslie still absorbing shadows?
Yeah,
or-
I think it's a little bit more like that. I think that now that the cage is down, or I think even maybe before the cage is down, it's a little bit more like when Leslie was absorbing some of the darkness, it was a little bit lighter. And I think that it's even a little bit more like if you wanted to try to like emit some light, you could definitely do that.
I should just try and make a tiny little twinkle. See what happens.
Yeah, I think that you see the sparkle of like the flashes of light. They happen and they float there in the sky, in the air in front of you. That you see they have like a comet tail of energy that's sort of being pulled away from you towards one of these dishes, like these big collectors in this room.
Just shuts it off.
It trails out.
That was
As,
weird.
as Leslie like sees you doing that and sees a trail of and just cocks their head. Should I just break that?
I was about to say that. I think
Probably.
we should.
Yeah.
Could we
Why
like?
not?
Cool.
Starts walking towards one of the nearest dish and just picks it up, yanks it off the ground, just throws it against the wall. Like, because I'm still angry. My condition is
Yeah.
still angry. So
Yeah,
it's like,
Yeah.
That's my secret.
No one can see, but blackout and I guess the shadow. So I just lean over and I'm like, trust me, that looked really fucking cool.
It sounded cool.
Mhm. So you crumple this machine, or this receiver thing, and suddenly the room gets a lot brighter. Like you have Best Boy is still floating around with its sort of like little low key light, and maybe if Spotlight has their latent kind of glow to her, that's glowing a little bit brighter. The room is like color is returning now. And you can kind of see each other again pretty well now, I think.
Are there more of those, or is it just the one?
There's a couple.
Keep breaking them.
Have that, kid.
Prism smash.
You're gonna spend the time,
yeah.
spend the
so
time to.
as that happens, Prism's just like, oh, that was fun, and just like dashes towards the other one, just wrecks the entire room, just catharsis all the unpent anger into smashing these things.
Spotlight's like, oh, I've never seen them so happy.
Aw,
Would
Best
that
Boy's
count as
recording.
breaking something to clear?
Probably does.
Oh.
Oh,
I was also looking to
Hey.
see if you've learned any lessons here. I don't know if that
Yeah,
fits the
breaking
framework
things
of a
is great.
superhero should
Smash,
or never.
smash your problems away.
Yeah.
Lesser, always smash.
A superhero should smash their
Always
problems.
smash.
I like it. Yeah. When in doubt, smash.
Yeah,
We're a great influence for Leslie.
a great influence. Yeah, so as Leslie is moving around smashing these receivers, I think that they crush the last one, and suddenly the room kind of looks really normal again. Like I think it happened slowly, so your eyes almost didn't notice, but like there's this like moment where you're like, oh hey, I can kind of just see colors, and like I can spotlights, like I can make light, and like there's a
Yeah.
normal amount of light in this room again. You can kind of see each other. If you pull out your phones, you can see your phones again. You can like see the screen normally.
Spotlight breathes a massive sigh of relief. She's like, "Thank you, Leslie." Starts making cool light shapes in the air immediately.
Just all around, just for fun.
Kind of bright.
There's no comet trail this time. Like now that the receivers are gone, it's just the sparkles and the flashes.
I feel better now. Not sure
Good.
why.
Breaking
It's
always
things
good to
makes you
break mom's
feel
stuff.
But-
better.
Doesn't it seem weird that there's like nobody freaking here?
Yeah. Also, what were they even trying to do with?
Yeah.
So there are like where those machines were, there are like electrical wires that like run into the wall. Like so something was absorbing energy from you while you were in here and sent it off somewhere else. And you, as you're looking around now, you do see there's a big double doors in one corner of the room. It doesn't have a window in it, so you can't see out. But there is definitely an exit to this room that isn't just like up
Being
how
thrown
you came
in.
in.
I mean, let's just
Shall we?
keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to
Oh.
find her.
So
We should-
you,
We should probably be careful, right? Like, that was way too
Mm.
easy.
I mean, they know we're here, so
And
Right?
A lot
there's-
of work went into making that tool, and Leslie's very strong to break those discs, so it wasn't easy.
And
Well, it was
there's
easy for
only
us, but-
one way out, I think. So we should take it.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't go that way. I'm just saying, Ray, do you have any idea what your mum is up to?
Yeah, a little bit.
Care to share?
Oh,
She's trying to amass as much power as possible. I don't know exactly why, but I assume it's for something fucked up.
ducks.
Language,
Make sure,
fam.
so
I'm 13. I can say what I want.
There's a 3-month-old here.
yeah.
Yeah, Leslie's.
who?
Well, make sure.
Swear in front of the
this boy's
baby.
getting all this.
Oh, it's me. I forget.
We do too,
So-
buddy.
Are one of you is one of you gonna go open this door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Let's
is
walk
gonna go
in.
open the door?
I mean, I think
I ask not at all ominously.
Yeah,
I
that-
think the siblings will go open the door.
I will
How
use a
many of
light
them?
projection.
No, I'm talking
of a-
about the Dr. Lights kids.
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to do it from a distance with a solid light projection of a hand, but you know, you do you, boo.
I mean, if you stop us.
Yeah.
That's good content for Best Boy. So.
As they're walking over, Crux is gonna take a really deep breath. And just kind of bring the shades, call them to him so he's charged up in case
Okay.
shit goes down in the last 12 minutes of show.
Yeah. So give me that roll again.
What could possibly go wrong?
Possibly going, oh, well, I rolled a 5, so I'm gonna have to mark 3
Ooh.
conditions. That's what could go
Yeah.
wrong.
That's what's going wrong. You are. I think you still get 2 burns.
I get 2 burn. Still got enough to fuck someone up.
Okay.
I think Spotlight
So-
will just like send over a floating hand and use it to open the door before they get there in case there's anything weird on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you push with this like light hand, and it's those like 2 push doors like and the doors start to open out like into this whatever this other room is, but they immediately disappear because it is just this wall of darkness, this wall of shadow.
This
And
again.
like you have prevented the darkness from where in this room that you're in, but the hallway is even darker now because you have some light and you've lost that like you're not like used to it anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's just like this pitch black darkness, and out of the darkness steps this kind of medium height woman with kind of glowing hair, and a glowing white bird mask and a lab coat that is now like vibrant bright white. And Dr. Light steps out and says, "I'm so glad that you could all come and join me. You all have so much good light energy." And she is going to, with some kind of a techno magical device that she's wearing on her arm, reach out and start to like siphon light straight from Spotlight.
And can I so I have shielding, so I can spend a burn to defend using freak instead of savior.
Sure.
So what's that look like? So I think at this point so I'm angry and guilty and insecure, and he's going to reach out his hand and these shades just stride forward. And I think they actually at this point leap off of the walls and try to he's just using dead things to stand in the way, like literally take me instead.
Okay, so give me that roll to
So
defend.
this is at a even roll because I have -2 to defend someone because I'm insecure.
Ooh.
Aw.
But I have a +2 in freak, so that's a 10.
Okay. So on a 10 plus, you protect them, keep them safe, and also you can choose to add a team to the pool, take influence over them, or clear a condition.
A clear condition.
Okay, good call. I think what I'm going to do, because this is a little bit of a fight, but we are getting a little bit late, so I'm just going to give you 3 team, let's just say, to skip over that move because it takes a little while. So yeah, so you like kind of fling these, you summon these shades up out of, is it off of yourself?
So they fly across the walls and stuff, and then they rise up, and they look like reapers, like, shrouded skeleton. They have scythes now. They've gotten more dangerous.
Oh no. Okay. And so
So
this
the elite
beam,
dead.
this like beam of energy that reaches out to like siphon light off of Spotlight instead hits these dark reapers, and it kind of burns through them, and maybe it absorbs them instead, but by the time it's hit like through the last of them, it's faded and it can't reach Spotlight.
Thank you.
They had a good life.
Oh, what? Thank you.
Are you okay?
I am now. Spotlight's wondering if she can try and do the same thing back to Dr. Light that she just did to her, since she also has light powers.
Interesting.
Can she try and siphon some of Dr. Light's power?
Sure. I think that sounds like a directly engaged threat, because I think that you're trying to pull her powers from her.
And I
So
also think she's switched Best Boy back on, and I want to use stage fighting
Okay.
to directly engage a threat with an audience watching. Mark a condition to roll plus superior instead of danger. So does that mean I use superior, which is my strongest stat?
Cool. Give me that roll.
That is a 12.
Cool. Wow. So you you hit and trade blows, but you can choose 2 from this list of resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten them.
Sorry, repeat that.
Resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for someone, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I believe the assumption here is you get hit back if you don't choose to avoid their blows.
Yeah, if you don't choose to resist or avoid their blows, you will get hit in some way.
Okay. Well, considering she's trying to very specifically take my power, I'll choose to avoid the blows.
Okay.
And then get one more.
That. Yeah. You get
Oh,
one
I
more.
get 2. I will
really
also take something from her because I'm trying to absorb the power back.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
My
take her,
sister.
take some power. So yeah, so you like she has this device that that she's been using to summon like siphon energy, and you like turn it around and like reach out and grab the light and because she's kind of glowing a little bit, like her hair is glowing, the mask is glowing, the lab coat is glowing, and it all is all pulled out of you or out of her, and it pulls or two around you, and now you're glowing in a way that's like brighter than you can probably normally glow without like absorbing a lot of energy. Like you just got supercharged really quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
Just sort of
and
like, this is really cool.
So many viewers.
yeah,
Feels so
yeah,
powerful.
yeah, oh yeah, it looks really good on screen. And I think that she kind of like reaches so she like kind of reacts to that and just discards this like piece of machinery that was on her arm, and reaches into a pocket and pulls out a smaller device, and actually probably she doesn't use a device. Sorry, she's like discards the technology back to basics, wields some magic, but she's gonna reach out this time and try to pull the darkness, the shadows out of Blackout. It looks kind of the same, except that it's a beam of light, or of darkness, rather than a beam of shadow or a beam of light.
Screw her.
Ah,
Yes,
Hmm?
bitch.
Yeah. So what do you do, Blackout?
She's trying to like
You just
suck
let this person
the
take your shadows?
out. No.
Yeah, drain your
need
shadow
those.
energies.
I'm gonna like. I don't really know what else to do. I think I'm gonna just like. I'm gonna like tug of war it. Like I'm trying to
Okay.
absorb my shadow like back. Like no, those are mine.
Okay. Why don't you yeah, if you're trying to hold on to your powers here, why don't you roll to unleash your powers?
Okay.
Kind of sounds the opposite, but you're trying to control the darkness.
Right. That's a 10.
Oof.
Hey,
Finally,
Okay,
I roll
excellent.
well.
hell yeah.
It's
yeah.
the one to roll well on.
And so she reaches out to try to like grab this darkness from you, but it like this is your thing. You do this all the time, like you and also the camera's on. Like you gotta do a good show. And so she reaches to grab these shadows from you and just like can't, because you have a solid grasp on these. And I think that she starts to look around and see like this is a room full of smashed equipment and 6 people who aren't quite the pushovers that she thought they were going to be. And I think that, do you want to do something, Crux, or you just
Yeah, I
Gesturing.
I have an idea. Can I summon a nice skeletal sword out of the Ashen Realm to Leslie and just turn to them and go, get her?
With that, actually,
Yeah.
I'll jump on top of that and just say, keep her distracted.
Sure. Does the sword just appear in Leslie's hands?
Little
it
thing
disappears,
appears, a little thing around comes out, floats there, waiting for you to grab it.
Question, James. So my a Mind of the
Yeah.
Roan that I used back then, it's lost until the
Mhm.
danger is gone. I guess the shadows are still around, so the danger is technically not gone.
there's
Okay.
certainly darkness in this hallway that you could absorb to wield as well.
Nice. So on top of the sword, right? When Leslie absorbs the normal radiation, then she creates heat. They create heat.
Mhm.
I'm probably, if they absorb the darkness, it's going to be the absence of heat. So I guess as that happens, the shadows kind of coalesce in one of their arms and the sword lands on the other one, and the purple roiling and the diamond parts of Leslie just start coalescing these ice crystals, and this mist coalesces around the sword, and they just dash towards Dr. Light.
Okay. I would like you to roll to directly engage a threat, which is plus danger.
And my intention with the sword was to
You'll
try
want-
to then allow me to spend a team to help out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we need that, then that's absolutely
Yeah, if we
how
need
you
it.
go about doing it.
But
that's
that's
just very cool.
a 9 without a team.
Okay, so then yeah, the 9. If you spend a team, then that'll kick it up to a 10.
Yeah, let's do that.
And
Let's
so
have some fun.
you'll trade blows, but get to choose 2 from that list.
Wonderful.
Actually, so I think that, yeah, just which of those 2 things would you like to do? Resist or avoid their blows, take something from her.
Create an opportunity for our allies and impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. Frighten in this case.
Okay. So I think that the way this works is you kind of rush at her with a sword, and you're just just glowing in energy, and you get to the point where you've like drawn the sword back and you're about to take a big swing, and time freezes for a second for everyone except Dr. Light and Raymond. And she kind of turns to you, like with this person swinging a sword right in front of her. And she turns to you and says, "You could come with me. We could work together. This might be the last chance I get to ask."
So, I'd like to say that while they were all doing this, I was intending, their distraction to allow me to do something that I hope I can have done before she paused time.
Sure, what were you trying to do?
Oh, I've been in here before. I almost, in a sense, sort of lived here before. I know where my mom keeps all the best stuff. And I would like to look for a cache of weaponry or tools that will help in this situation. That a supervillain that I know of keeps.
Yeah. I think that I don't even need you to roll. Like, this is obviously her cache. What kind of a tool were you looking for?
Honestly, being that she has created all these things to absorb light from people, and thinking that if I can find something like that to stop her from using her powers.
Okay. Yeah. So she turns to you like in this moment of like frozen time and kind of starts to give you this speech of like join me again, like you're better than the rest of these people, like you're better than them, join me and we can rule this galaxy together, kind of a thing. And like as she turns, you're there with this like some kind of a device that can absorb all of the rest of the energy that she has. And so I think that like if you're willing, so you can feel her as like time starts to like speed back up. Leslie starts to bring like the slow stroke of the sword, and you can feel her magic start to swirl around her, and she is going to teleport out of here or like magic herself away unless you fire this gun or whatever this machine is that will pull her energy away.
Yeah, just as she says that and that starts to happen, I just go, "This is for sis," and I'm gonna fire it.
Okay. And you fire this thing and it sucks all the rest of the light out of her. She kind of drains to black and white in this moment that Leslie kind of whacks her with this big sword, and she crumples and falls to the ground, not dead, but knocked out. And I think that might be where our adventure ends this evening, because we are at 9:30, with these heroes of Quest City triumphant over the somewhat menacing Dr. Light. As I think that as she gets knocked out, all of the lights start to spring back on as her energy that was sucking all of the light out of everything pops back on, and so you can see the hallway again, lights flicker on, the fluorescent lights turn back on, and we see the readers of the comic, all these panels of the city lighting up. We see a panel of like the zoo, and that like there's a whole bunch of alligators in a circle looking at a new alligator that's there with them, and the lights come back on and they can sort of start sunning again, and it returns to being daylight. And you'll find your way out of this lab. You've done it before. You'll do it again, and you will leave this time not having set things on fire, but with a very cool footage of you defeating this person who would have been a very scary villain.
You know how some comics have, like, when you close it on the back, there's like a final panel?
Yeah, an after credits panel.
Yeah, I like the idea of
Big
just
credits
that
panel.
final panel being Shadow leaning into Violet and going, "You can kick her if you want."
It's good. It's good.
Love it.
I love it.
So good.
Well, thank you
did,
all
Megan?
for playing Masks with me.
Thank you, James.
you.
Thank
Thank
you. Honorary
Oh,
no initiative member.
That was so fun.
That was so fun.
It really
amazing.
was. I had a blast.
We kind of had to move pretty quickly through an adventure, but I actually don't know that
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever GM'd like a solid one shot like that.
Oh, really?
Huh?
Pulling
Oh.
a story together. So that was an interesting experience.
It was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
One shots are really hard, and it
Love-
doesn't help
Yeah.
that we just
It
keep
can be.
bullshitting our way through
Yeah.
stupid
Yeah.
scenes instead of
It
doesn't help
progressing the
that there are-
story.
It doesn't
I
help
actually
that
think
there are 6 of you, and you all have very interesting characters, so I wanted to spend more time with all of you. So
I was gonna say, I feel like we were actually quite like brief with the bullshit, like much briefer
Yeah.
than we usually are in Quest, for example.
Could be so much worse.
Valid.
Not
We can be
monsters.
so, we can be so
Yeah,
much
Nat
worse.
just had this face like, oh, I've seen some shit.
Okay, but I'm part of the problem too. I had another like 3 potential bullshit moments just like written down on my
Oh my
pad,
God.
like ready.
it's important to
Yeah,
plan.
absolutely, yeah.
Listen, once we had the Excaligator, it's all we needed.
Okay, but the
Excaligator.
fucking Excaligator, my lord,
Yeah, thank you for that.
Drake
Thank you for
Roland.
that.
I almost suggested
I-
that we stab Violet with it to see if she would grow to be large
Oh,
like
no.
the Excaligator.
I don't want that to happen.
I already have one
Bullshit.
sibling in another game who can grow really tall, please. I don't
Welcome
need
to
another one.
Excaligator,
Welcome to
aka
Quest City.
aka Sorty Rough Horse.
Sorty
Oh.
rough.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, shall we do
God.
outros?
I
Yeah.
believe it is
I
time.
believe so.
Sadly, it is time.
Is it time for the outros? I believe if we go backwards, Sam can kick it off.
Yeah.
Oh. Sure thing. Hey everyone, I am Sam. You can find me on Twitter at TheSamWisest. I am the Samwise GameG here on Twitch. I'm one of the admins here at Chromatic Chimera. I'm our accessibility director. You can see me right back here tomorrow. We are still going to be raising funds for MS Awareness Week, but also, very excitingly, tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary of Chromatic Chimera. We have been playing games and streaming for 2 years now. Yeah, it's pretty wild. We are going to be celebrating with a special bonus all roleplay like epilogue of our not 13th Age, of our Fantasy Age series that recently wrapped Agora's Bells, which was one of our founding game, ran for like 2 years. So we're going to be having a very special epilogue where we find out what the characters have been up to in the last decade or so since the last session. So check that out. On Saturday, I'm also actually going to be playing in a Star Trek Adventures one-shot over with the Noir Enigmas channel. So check that out. I'm very excited for my Trill medical officer. And on Wednesdays, we are updating our podcast with No Initiative. So if you want to check out this whole Quest the Soaring City thing that we've mentioned where we play live here on Mondays, you can find us on Anchor or Spotify, and you can start from the very beginning in podcast form. And I think it's Nunu down below. No, Robert. Robert, yeah, down.
I mean,
one
I'll
over.
be Nunu if you want.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful
I mean, we
person
all
to
want to be Nunu.
We all want to be Nunu, but
I mean,
I'll
this
be any
is
new
valid.
you ask me.
I don't.
Well, yeah, because you want to be.
Don't talk
Megan.
about my friend like that. Don't.
So yeah, hi. I'm Robert. I played your Scion today. I also played your guy that tells you about MS. It's great. No, not MS. Being that doesn't matter. You can find me on the internet at Voices of Robert in most places. Yeah, this was a great game. I really appreciated everyone that was here for the MS fundraiser, which again is going on until the end of the week. Saturday is, the last day. Sadly, can't do it all year, but every bit, everything you do that puts money in the direction of the Chromatic Chimera for this week is going straight to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and we appreciate every bit that you give. We appreciate every retweet, all signal boosting of any time, just watching. It's the best. You guys are the best. Loved you all being here. Now I'm going to pass it on to Nunu.
Thank you, Robert. I've been Nunu. You can find me online wherever you find people online at jnunutex, and I played Prism. I hope you enjoyed this one shot. Apparently, masks is fun. That's it. Find us here. Starting the 12th of April, Season 4 of Quest to Soaring City is kicking back on. So make sure you follow us on Twitter as well at No Initiative TV to find out when we're going live. But yeah, if you want to know already, 12th of April, Season 4, Episode 1, be there. Isa, take it away.
Hello, I'm Isa. I was played Spotlight. This was a lot of fun. My first time playing masks. It was a great time. Thank you, James. If you want to find more of what I do, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Evil Clever Dog. I also have a YouTube channel called Evil Clever Dog where I post videos about cosplay and crafting and stuff. Go check out my Scarlet Witch video if you like superheroes. As well as that, oh my god, other things. This Saturday, I'm going to be in another superhero RPG one-shot. This will be on the Legends system, on the Legends podcast. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go to @TheLegendsCast1 on Twitter. It's going to be, just a fun one-shot charity stream where we all play as like kids at a summer camp for superhero kids. It's really cute and it's raising money for a good cause, so go check that out. And starting in the beginning of April, me and Nat will be in a Spire campaign over on twitch.tv/FinTheBin. So keep an eye out for stuff about that as well. And yeah, that's me, Megan.
Hello, I am Megan. I have been Violet, your beacon, this evening. I love masks. I'm so happy that everybody got to play masks because I won't shut the hell up about how much I love masks. Everybody should play masks. Play masks. It's great. You can find me most places. You can find people on the internet at MeganLynnFTW. You can follow me on Twitter where I spend a lot of time shouting about how much I love masks. So play masks. You can find me here, obviously, with all of these fine people playing Quest. Our new season starts April 12th on Mondays. You can also find me here next week, a week from today, at 7 o'clock for my show Unprepared, where I facilitate GMless and prepless games for my friends, and we are playing Our Lady, which is a amazing prompt-based game that my friend Jess wrote, and I'm very excited to play it and share it with people. I also write games sometimes, and you can find them at meganlynnftw.itch.io. I may or may not have published a new one this week about superheroes, because, spoiler alert, I really like superheroes. And let's see what Isa and I are gonna be in an Aegon podcast that's coming soon-ish. That's gonna be real good because Aegon is great, and Isa and I are really on our bullshit with this one. So stay tuned. And that, yeah, that's me. Not doing too much lately, so I'm gonna throw it up to the wonderful Nat.
Hey, I'm Nat. I was your Nova today. I had a really good time. Thank you, James, and thank you, my usual No Initiative crew, for giving us such an excellent experience. If you want to follow me, see my stuff, you can follow me at CrimeNat on Twitter, KREIMNAT. In addition to the Spire campaign Downfall, that's coming in early April with Izza on Fridays on twitch.tv/spinthebin. Wednesdays, like tomorrow, on the same channel, twitch.tv/spinthebin, we play Pokemon. That's a little ROM hack. We talk shit. We say a lot of heinous things about Pokemon. It's pretty good. That's at 8 GMT. It's based on GMT server right now with time zones. It's a little weird. Besides that, you can see us next season for Quest Swing Sit in Mondays. I'm the guide for that, and I think it's pretty good. James, tell us how cool you are.
I will tell you true things about me. Like, my name is James. I am Podcasting's James Malloy. You can find me on Twitter at @TheMeltdowns. If you want to hear more masks, I make a masks podcast called Protean City Comics with some of my friends. We have a huge kind of meta universe of comic books that we tell stories in, and we're constantly adding to and expanding. And I would tune in because I think this summer is going to be full of really cool new stuff. It's a great time to jump in. A lot of our comics, you don't have to have listened to all 3 years of of a podcast we've made. I'd also make a podcast called Stop Hack and Roll, which is where my buddy Brandon and I talk about tabletop role-playing games and designing them, and a lot of other things. We don't finish any of the games we talk about designing. We talk about designing a lot of games. And so that is that. Right now, if you're watching the stream or watching the VOD in the next 2 days, we are wrapping up March Masksness, which is a big sort of crossover event that Protean City runs for all of the different Masks actual play podcasts. So I pit all of these heroes together in a March Madness inspired competition as a big sort of crossover thing. Check that out on Twitter at March Masksness. That's what I do. It's me.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and thanks again to James for coming to join us and running this
Thank
session
you
for having me.
for us.
This was
Thank
a
you,
blast.
James.
Yeah,
Willingly
seriously.
joining this madness.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll have to play again. Have you
Yeah.
back sometime.
I'll have you back and play some Quest.
Heck
Super
yeah.
fun to sling some dice.
That would be really nice. In the meantime, we're gonna rate our friends over at Dice Priori. They're really awesome, good friends of the channel here. Make sure you leave them some uboos in chat. They are playing Monster of the Week, which is another Powered by the Apocalypse game.
Ooh.
So hang out for that,
Monster of the Week.
and have a great night, everybody. We love you, woo.
Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.